Hello, everyone. It is Friday. Friday. I am your friendly neighbor. Down. Yeah. Okay. Now we gotta stop. Hi, everybody. I am your friendly neighborhood Prax. Welcome to the channel. I have one of my favorite people here, so that we can start a house for this fabulous person. Here. In the wonderful game that we are building, called Carousel Court. Um, this is a half character creation stream history of the character. If you've missed any ones, check them out over on the YouTube. It exists. It's great. Like, share, subscribe, do all of those things. Check the VODs. But this is my wonderful, fabulous friend Lindy. It's to introduce herself. Okay, that works. They're a very distinguished family, don't you know? But so this game, Carousel Court, is a Southern Gothic urban fantasy. Oh, Lindy is muted. Lindy, hold. Oh, it's because it deleted this.
Oh.
Yeah. So, hey y'all. Apologize. We'll come back to this. We're back. Lindy can do the sign language. So, Lindy, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Lindy, of the Lapful of Lindy's, and I've been awake for about an hour.
Hi. It's okay. No, you've been up for an hour. That's a long time.
You'd think one would be more awake.
But we are going to build Lindy's house. Carousel Court. Creating and combining the house systems from Sword Chronicle and Dragon Generational System, set in Savannah, Georgia, starting in 1945 and going to 2000. Again, urban fantasy, all of the warning tags that go with an urban fantasy genre for dark horror, and a whole bunch of others. But we're going to build Lindy's house today. And this will be a lot of fun and enjoyable. And then we get into we're going to start with the math and then get into the fun drama. Math and fun drama is a wonderful combination, and that's where we're at.
The alternate title for the show, Math and Fun Drama.
I mean, that could be. Okay, so the running bet is, all right, I will let everybody guess. Will this be yet another cursed house? We've had 2 so far.
Oh no. Well, I'm either gonna stick with the trend or break the mold, so we'll find out.
What happens. We will see what happens. So why don't we get started? We can just roll the starting stats. 8d6 minus 2 times 7.
8d6. I'm looking for the right tab. I'm like, all right, here we go. 8d6 minus 2 times 7. I'm just gonna go with the 8d6 minus 2, and then we can times 7 afterwards.
Well, no, you do each. When I meant times 7, it's 7 times.
Oh, thank God. I was gonna be like, that it's more complicated math than I was anticipating with this math and fun.
I was being shorthand in the wrong way.
You're good. I've been awake for just about an hour, and math is not my immediate strong
suit. Yeah, it's 8d6 minus 2d6.
8d6 minus 2d6. Okay, we've got 8d6. We'll use my tiny dice for the minus 2d6 because that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
What fell on the floor? Let's see. 6, 12, 16, 22, 28, 35. No, 38 plus 5. 33.
Minus 2d6.
Minus 2d6. 30.
So 30. Your first stat is a 30 for an HOA
Yes.
rating. There we go.
Yes.
I will
For an HOA rating.
Look.
Sorry.
We are in a subdivision, post-war subdivision in Savannah, Georgia. Who is the center of power? The country club.
That is, that's fair. That is fair.
So your power rating is your HOA. At a 30 HOA, by the way, you are sitting at one of my favorites. Well kept, but the garden is nothing to write home about.
I'm fine. I'm fine with that.
You're at the middle tier.
That is an acceptable step for me.
Next up, same roll.
Oh, that's full of dice.
We're rolling actual physical dice at this.
10, 18, 22, 26 plus 28 minus 4, 24.
4 seems like a good number. That's your influence rating, 24.
Cool.
At a 24 influence, you know some folks, but you aren't a member of the club.
Being a member of the club's overrated, maybe. It's fine.
This is where you're starting, remember?
Ooh, okay. 6, 6, 6, 6. 6 times 4 is 24. Plus 5, 29. Plus 4, 33. Plus 2, 35. 38.
Minus 2d6.
Minus 2. So let's see how much this goes down.
You can
see, 3, 2, 5. Minus 5. So
minus 5, so 33.
33.
33 wealth.
I have some money.
You do. You are middle class. Your family has the funds to pay bills, save a little, and
I love being middle class.
Look, you're not destitute. Impoverished.
I'll take it. I'll take middle class is great in my book.
Yeah.
I doubt I'll roll another roll that well. I just looked at it. I was like, that's a lot of 6s. That would have been an amazing fireball.
That would have been a great fireball. Krellin is pointing out correctly that 33 wealth is, as a starting wealth, is the highest we have.
Oh. Yes. Well, and then deception checks, right? I do love building houses and then rebuilding them in real life. So, it's less drywall and plaster. This is a much less messy method.
It is less physically messy.
There you go. I don't have to take a shower after this. Hopefully.
Might need break.
Roll.
Alright.
Okay. This one's not yet. Okay, so 5, 10, 15, plus 8, 23, plus 2, 25, 27, minus 27 minus 8. 19.
So that is for your peoples. At 19, a nuclear family. However many children you choose to have, but a nuclear family.
Oh, it's like, 2.5. Like, the typical.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. How big's my backyard?
That's your land. What are we going to come up with?
That's, like, how big's my yard? 10, 20, 5, 27 again. Just with different dice. Minus 3, 24.
4. That's even better. So at 24 land, you own your house and some land in the country, keeping an eye on that balloon payment.
Nice, nice. Oh, reputation. This is probably where I bomb. This is where it all goes wrong.
We'll find out.
All right. Or, maybe it'll be pretty average. Okay, 6, 12, 17, 28. Oh God. Okay, 38. That was better than I thought. 38 minus There it is. 10. 28.
28. It's still not bad. 28,
No.
28 reputation.
No,
Unknown.
38.
38. 38 would have been good. 28. Unknown. You have a reputation, either good or bad.
Look, I'll be mysterious. I'll take, I'm just flying under the radar here.
Well, this is where you start.
With some money. Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
Where you start. And you have power.
Magic. How much magic do I got? 6, 10, not a ton. It's looking like 15, 20. I'll be about average. 23 minus 6 is math.
17.
17.
So 17. Certain generations have magic, but kind of predictably determined. Every other generation, every 2 generations.
Sure.
But okay, so that was the easy part.
Okay.
Fun part.
Okay.
3d6 plus 1.
3d6 plus 1. I have 3 tiny d6. I'll roll those plus 1 because that'll be fun.
That will be the total number of historical events you get to.
12 plus 4 is
16.
17 events.
We are now officially in the longest family history.
Oh gosh.
I am here for it. 17.
17.
This is the oldest house. 1, 2.
Yeah, it came up with like 2 6s and a 4, and I was like, oh god. That's, sure, it's fine.
Yeah.
That's a lot of events.
Oh, no, we did it correct.
3d6 plus 1?
Yeah.
I just rolled bonkers on the 3d6 plus 1.
I was counting. You are literally the oldest house, and go back to so here's what it is.
That's like 2 years off of the max roll. So
2 rolls off of the max, and I just was like going, because it's actually how many. The plus 1 is in there because the minimum everybody is gonna get
a minimum of 4 events.
Well, no, a minimum of 4 events, but more importantly, everyone gets World War II.
Oh, yeah, event. I think we have that in my family. We might even have like the Civil War or the War for Independence.
You've got,
or
you're a lot further back than that.
The War of 1812, or
you're going back to 1506. It's fine.
Oh, okay. We're an old family.
You are an old family
with a sophisticated name.
Maybe not. You could also have changed various points. All right,
that is true.
These are the dates, and the dates are picked because they all tie to what are I considered important historical event points. In the development of Savannah. Whether your family has been in this continent the entire time or not is not. It's just these are the points at which conversation would be general area. The timeline for our purposes begins at 1000 CE, the arbitrary beginning point, because of 2 reasons. 1, I didn't want to have to deal with all of human history, and 2, I didn't want to then say that history began at contact and colonization. So we begin with you at 1526, which the reason I picked that date is it's the founding of the San Miguel, South Carolina, by the Spanish, as an important date because it is the first colony with African slaves. And so I'm gonna put them over here. I'm gonna right here. Oh, we forgot one step. Hold on, we forgot a step.
Oh dear. Can't forget steps now.
We need to roll. You need to roll 7d6.
Okay.
because these are going to be your bonus die.
Oh.
That after we finish everything, you can ascribe to the values.
Nice. Okay.
Lynn is going, I quit. I guess the question is how many dooms is going to get rolled?
Yeah, 12, 16, 21 plus 7 is 28.
No, you're just individual values.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll just go down the list then.
I misspoke.
To assign them. All right. So 3.
3.
6.
3, 6.
4.
4.
6.
6.
3.
3.
2.
2.
3.
So those bonus die at the end, you can then put in whatever the totals are to add to the which might be enough to shift you a level, right?
Okay.
Because the levels start at the 11s, right? 0, 1, 11, 21, 31, 41, 50. Those are where the 60, where all the levels.
Okay.
And so those can be sometimes just enough to bump.
Just enough to bump a little bit. Okay, okay.
So we begin in 1526. Now we get 3d6. This is going to tell us what historical event happened your family in 1526. I should also say again, your family doesn't have to have been in this area or even on this continent.
I'm just making it 3d6.
Yeah, and then we're gonna go back and tell the story afterward. Yep.
Cool. Yeah, I'm just writing the timeline down on my notes.
Why I'm putting it all in here for you too.
I rolled a 4, 5, and a 6, so 15.
15. Treachery.
I'd love to start off with some treachery.
Plus 1d6 to HOA, minus 1d6 to influence and reputation.
Okay. What's the next date?
Well, are you gonna do the rolls?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I can do those. So
just
3
so
more
we
d6.
remember them.
So that'll be a plus 4 to HOA.
Yep.
And then minus 1 each to influence reputation.
Not a big bump or change.
It was. I feel like the treachery was kind of on the positive side for my family.
I mean, kind of on the it was effectively positive. I also love what the Sword Chronicle book says about if you start with a treachery.
Do they say something if you start with treachery specifically? Oh no!
Well, for each historical event, they tell you if this is your first historical event.
Oh boy.
Where is it? Treachery.
I will say I love the Dragon Age dice for this because I can be like, oh, the negatives are red and the positives are white. I can
there you go. Should treachery be your first result, you gained your house by means of some dark deed, possibly betraying another lord or noble.
You know,
not wrong.
Do what I can. You know.
Yep.
But how me is that though? To start in treachery.
Totally on brand.
All right. What's the next year?
3d6. It starts in 1566, and 1566 is the permanent Spanish colony in South Carolina.
Okay.
I'm just giving you the reasons.
That's so funny. I'm just basically counting them. Last one was 4, 5, 6. This one's 3, 4, 5. So 7 plus 5, 12.
12. Invasion or revolt. Minus 1d6 to HOA, influence, wealth. Minus HOA, wealth, and your people. Minus 2d6 to reputation.
Whew.
Invasion.
I have to do this 15 more times. I ain't gonna have no stats left.
You could go up. You could theoretically go up.
All right. Yep. HOA minus 3, wealth minus 2, and then for reputation,
minus 2.
Minus 5.
Okay. Reputation's going a little down. Still there. The House of Lamb started by making some dead man. Possibly. 1607, the founding of Jamestown Colony in Virginia.
All right. 3d6.
Mm-hmm.
If I roll a 2, 3, 4, I'm gonna be like, curse dice, throw them out. Thank God. I did get a 2, 3, but it's a 5. The dice did not want to be thrown away. So 5 plus 5 is 10.
Glory.
I like me some. Look, I had some treachery, a little invasion revolt, and now we're on to glory.
Yep. Glory is 1d6 to HOA, influence, land, reputation, and magic.
Positive?
All positives.
1d6?
Yep.
Oh, good. All right. So to like how many?
5. A total
HOA?
of 5.
All right.
1, 6 each. HOA, wealth, or influence, land, reputation, and magic.
Okay. Damn. Let's make this good so we're not losing anything just in case. All right. +1 to HOA.
Yep, 1.
+6 to influence. +5 to land. +6 to reputation. And
Ooh,
+3 to magic.
So we've gained back all of the reputation you lost in the previous century.
Well, it's fine.
Expanding your land holdings. Oh, all right. So, and then 1665.
1665. That's way too many 6s. Okay. 3d6. Okay. How about a 16?
16. Victory.
Oh,
we're doing really well. I should
with glory comes victory, I guess.
Separated by 40 years.
Look, the generation before it had a very, the glory was so strong that it inspired victory in the next gen.
Yep. 5 glory. Victory. Sorry, victory is +1d6 to HOA, influence, and magic.
Okay, I'll take it. +1 to HOA.
Mm-hmm.
+5 to influence, +3 to magic.
Sorry, 1 to HOA.
5 to influence.
And then 1 to magic.
3 to magic.
3 to magic. Cool. Cool. All right. 1733. The founding of the Georgia colony.
Oh, let's see. 5.
Conquest.
Oh my God.
But here's the thing. It's you doing the conquest.
Oh no.
So it's +1d6 to influence, wealth, people, and land.
Okay.
And then -1d6 to reputation and magic.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, so 4 dice, and then I'll do the other 2. This is the plus. That's convenient. 4 for influence. 5 to wealth.
5 to wealth.
5 to people. 3 to land.
3 to land. 4, 5, 5.
And then for reputation and magic, that'll be a 4 reputation and a 2 magic.
Not bad. Not bad.
That's the next one. We got a bajillion of these.
The French and Indian War, 1754 to 1760.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
10 again.
So fun fact, the 17 isn't really 17, it's it really comes down to like 15 because 6 has to. There are a total of 15 things that she will eventually get, not physically 17 because of the way 3d6 mathematics. You don't get 1 and 2, right?
Sure. Whatever. Just tell me how many you roll.
Yeah, I was answering Krellin. It's like 4 out of 17 because Krellin is keeping track. But
yeah,
we are. It's not actually correct because you're rolling 3d6, so you never actually get 1, 2. So it's bumped up.
Yeah, that makes sense for the chart. Yeah.
So it's.
Sure. 15 still a lot. It's still 2 off max.
So yeah, exactly. Exactly. A third of the way of 5 of 15. Exactly. So Glory, you did well.
I got more glory. Look at my house. Wait, getting all that glory.
What was that number?
A 10 again.
Yeah, it was Glory again. I was making sure. I was double checking.
So I'm sorry. The timeline is treachery, invasion, revolt, glory, victory, conquest, glory. We had some great, like, look, the 1700s are so far just bopping for us.
Doing great. You started with treachery.
We don't talk about it. Okay.
So that is 1d6.
HOA, influence, land, reputation, magic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Oh man. Okay. Well, that's gonna be 4. 6. 6. 4.
6, 6, 4.
Yep, and then the last one's 2.
Yeah. You're gonna have a shit ton of land, a lot of influence, and probably some. Like your wealth hasn't really. Good. You still have a lot to go, but
we still have a lot to go. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're only about a third of the way there, so there's a lot could happen.
A lot could happen. I mean, 1776, the War of for Independence.
Ah, yes, classic time period. Let's see what happened in this year. Let's see. 4 plus 4 is 8.
So an 8. Oh, hi everyone. My second favorite roll.
What I get?
Doom.
Is it a curse? Doom!
Minus 2d6 to everything.
Oh, okay. Well, let's pick the red dice, because a little bit of doom here.
Yeah.
I could have rolled a lot worse on 2d6 to everything. I got a 2 and a 3, so 5.
So 5 for the first one. Got 6 more of these to do.
Okay. 7. 4.
Yep.
6.
Oof, that's gonna.
5.
Yep.
How many more?
2 more.
I'm not even 2 more. Okay. 6. 6. But with different numbers.
1789. Ratification of the Constitution.
Okay. Let's see. 10 again.
That's 10 again?
10 again.
More glory. You're just coming up glory here.
We're just coming up glory. That's gonna be the house motto. Coming up glory.
Like coming up roost.
Everything's coming up glory. Oh shit, some fucking good glory too. All right. So that'll be 4.
4.
4.
4.
6.
6.
4, 4, 6. 6.
6.
5.
5. Ooh.
That was a good roll.
That was a really good roll.
Look, 18. I had to follow up Doom with glory.
You did. I am here for all of this.
1820.
The Savannah Fire. and a outbreak of
Oh dear.
and belief somebody tried to deal with some infection problem with fire. Burned 80% of the city.
13.
13. 13 is my other favorite role. Capricious ruler.
Oh.
So this one's a little fun. To every stat, it's +6 minus 2d6. Because the I changed it to a capricious or eccentric. The book calls it a madness.
Yes.
A madness historical event indicates that a particular figure suffered from destructive eccentric behavior, producing unpredictable results, positive or negative outcomes. Each resource increases. However, if this was your first role, your family was instead raised by a lord or king as appropriate to the period of your first founding. Note that madness does not necessarily indicate mental illness, but refers. Call it capricious. Whatever.
What?
How do you want to do that? All right, so. Yep. So now you have a capricious, eccentric.
So what do I roll?
So the roll is, I'll put it in our chat, or our, it's +6 to 6.
+6 minus 2d6. So just minus whatever these dice are. Okay.
To each, or across the board.
0.
0 is, that's a possibility.
That was the first roll, 0. Next one is -3.
Loss of
0.
no effect.
-1.
Someone died, but not a lot.
+1.
1 to your
0.
back to your reputation.
+1.
Magic.
Oh, okay.
There you go. It was the only really big negative was that influence.
Yeah, and it was -3, so that could have been worse. Could have been worse.
All right. Fun times. 1861. The American Civil War.
Oh boy, I'm a little scared based off of all this glory that's been going on. I'm like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Could be. It's a little sketchy. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Better not be glory. So as good as glory is. Okay. Math. What is math? 6 + 4 + 12.
4 is 12.
Yes. That's what it is.
Okay. 12. Invasion or revolt. Oh, hi.
Again.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Hi, welcome to invasion. Not invitation, invasion. So
yes. Don't know why that was so hard. I was like 2, 4, 6, 12.
-1d6 to HOA, wealth, and people, and then -2d6.
Okay. Ooh, HOA's taking a hit. 5, 1, and then 3.
Oh. All right, 5, 1, and 3. 5. People. Yeah, oh, that's right. I went in the wrong. 5, -5, -1, and then
3.
3 to your full, and then minus 2d6 to reputation.
5.
5. Your reputation is taking a hit. 1864, and we welcome William Tecumseh Sherman to the coast of Savannah in Georgia. Kind of has a blazing trail behind him. Very blazing.
Okay. $11.
11. Infrastructure. So this is where we say this one is an infrastructure. Infrastructure. Spelled wrong, I know. So what you should do is roll 2d6, and then you get to place those values where you want. So what I recommend is we put them to the side in that kind of row, and after we get all.
Sure. I got a 5 and a 4.
Yeah, so immediately after the war, you did some investing in something. All right. 1893. This is the Sea Islands hurricane. Some of the most deadly hurricanes ever. 7 hurricane strikes on Savannah. It kills a shit ton of people and does a lot of damage that they have to.
Does 18 get me?
18 gets you a windfall. Plus, no, you will really like this. Plus,
so I'm saying you're saying the hurricane made windfall?
I can't make this up. Like, okay, so
okay. Sorry, that just it tickled me really badly.
No, plus 2d6 to HOA, influence, wealth, and reputation, and then plus 1d6 to people and magic.
HOA, influence, wealth, and reputation get 2d6?
Yep.
God damn.
And then 1d6 to people, land, and
that's like plus something to everything.
Shit. Okay. Windfall is literally the best roll you can make.
I mean, I was. That's why I laughed when it came up 3 6s. I was like, "Gotta be kidding me! It's either really good or really terrible."
It's.
All right, HOA. Yeah, it's 8.
Yep.
Influence shall have 9.
There you go.
Wealth shall have 11.
Making the money.
Reputation shall have 7. Oh, and then 1d6 for people, land, and magic.
Yep.
Okay. 6.
Yep.
6.
Yep.
1.
Small magic increase.
I'm not a super magic house, it would seem.
But you're not 0. 0 is straight humans. You are not straight.
Got a little bit of magic.
At least
a little bit of magic in me. So yeah, that hurricane again. I don't know what kind of terrible embezzling or like poaching in the community, but I have been doing to profit from all this adversity. But
look, the were sharks also profited from the hurricane.
That is, that's fair. That's true. It's not just me; it's the were sharks too.
The were sharks. No, there's legitimately a family of were sharks, Native American family.
We have 3 more rolls left.
We have 4 rolls. World War I. How did that go for you?
Let's find out. 6.
6 is a defeat. Minus 1d6 to everything but reputation.
Okay. Let's see.
As the book says, your family fought a war or smaller conflict but was defeated, losing status, precious resources.
You know what they say about World War One is that kind of changed warfare. So I guess, you know, we were used to fighting the old-fashioned way. Things, you know, out of hand. All right, minus 1d6 to everything but reputations. That's 5d6.
Yep.
Yes.
Or 66.
66. One more dice. Boop. That could have gone a lot worse. Okay. 3.
It's 3.
And then it'll be minus 2. Minus 1. Minus 6.
Look, people die in World War One.
People died in World War One. It's fine. Minus 1. Minus 2.
Minus 2. All right. 1928. Black Tuesday. Stock market crash.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not a good. That's. Hmm. 6, 10. Yeah, 16. Have we done 16? Victory.
Somebody was doing some insider trading.
We had to bounce back from that defeat. You know what I'm saying?
Funny fact, it doesn't give you wealth. It gives you HOA, influence, and magic. 1d6 to HOA influence.
Okay, 1d6 HOA influence magic. All right. So just 3. 1.
1.
4.
4.
6. We got a little magical with the stock market crash.
You did. You. wait.
We magicked our way around the Great Depression.
You did magic your way right around that depression. But you also gained influence. So, like, were you one of those people who, and you didn't lose any wealth and you didn't lose any land? So we'll figure out what happened after the fact.
What happened? Okay, yeah. Uh-huh.
World War II. Where's this family at right before the games?
I'm scared. Lori, it's 10. Everything's coming up. Lori.
You might literally be the one of the most powerful houses.
So
if we do math. Okay. So
you know, we went like a good what couple 100 years or so without any glory. I guess, you know, we got to bring it back. 1789 to 1944 without glory. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need 5 dice.
Well, before you do that, oh yeah,
yes,
you're gonna. Yes, you roll the dice for that. Sorry.
Yes. HOA influence, land, reputation, and magic. This is stupid. Okay. Sorry. 6.
6.
4.
4.
You ready? 1.
1.
6.
6.
6.
6. So
it was stupid. The dice came up and I was like, that's dumb. I'm not mad about it, but
this is gonna be a thing. So don't be mad about it. All right, so before we do anything else, where do you want to invest in your
okay, so those are my totals. God bless. Yeah, I am influential.
You are very influential. But we're not gonna tell anybody what the totals are until we put the
okay. Okay, I feel like I should boost some of the lower ones. I have how many dice?
Yeah, but we're just gonna do this one first. Row first.
Okay.
So infrastructure.
Oh, the infrastructure. Okay.
You have a 5 and a 4.
Which was 5 and a 4. Okay.
Remembering, of course, that everything boosts at an 11 value. 8. So 11,
Okay.
21, 31, 41, 51.
Okay. 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 Um. Ooh, that's my totals on the bottom. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to put a 5 in people just to help them out there a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then see, I have the 4 left.
Yep.
Let's put that 4 in reputation.
All right. So what this means is that your subtotal values are 43. So
HOA.
for
Yes.
HOA, which puts you at you have won the Garden Award,
Oh no.
and it will be yours again. You swear it.
Oh God. With all that glory, I mean, maybe.
With a 53 in influence,
Mm-hmm.
prom queens and debutantes had them all.
Okay. I didn't realize. I guess I never realized how high my influence was getting. I was like, oh man, it seemed to be taking so many hits. I guess that was my
Uh,
reputation.
yeah, it was your wealth
Wealth.
at a 41.
Uh-huh.
Affluent. Your family has a good nest egg and
Oh.
lives in comfort.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So
Your
it's all that
people,
stock market.
that's stock market. Your people at an 18 is a nuclear family.
Okay. Yeah, cool.
Um, your land at a 46. You own your house and a small office building and land in the
Okay. Got the lake home. Yeah.
or uh
The lake house in LaGrange.
yeah,
Something.
it's a small piece of land.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Uh
Reputation.
reputation at a 40. Folk are learning your name. You even got invited to bring a dish to the potluck this year.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then for magic at a 34 is established family with a steady small well of magic. No, never too big, but
Okay. Respectable.
respectable. But now you have your bonus die. And so
Mm-hmm.
those values for the bonus die, the minute you hit an 11's value,
Mm-hmm.
you bump to the next level.
Okay.
So like for that 18 that you've got,
Mm-hmm.
if you put a 3 in there, then it'll put you to
Mm-hmm.
21 and that'll
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. And it'll take me to the next value in reputation. I would put the +2 in there. I'm almost wondering what would have happened if I put that 5 in influence and then bumped that up to like 61. That would have been bonkers. But I don't need that much influence. I don't need to be the queen of the HOA. I don't that sounds like a lot of work. Oh gosh. I can't really do many bumps because I'm kind of just very middling.
Oh, you can do if
Um
you do the 3 here
I can
at that
do I
18.
can do yeah.
And you've
Everything else is
got two
I can
sixes.
bump. Yeah, I can bump the land with a 5 or a 6.
Got one of the anything you
Mhm.
put in reputation is
Mhm. I put the 2 in there and I bump it up. Um magic would only get topped out at 40.
yeah, I don't think no. But that does put you in a position of like high values for your investment values. So like wherever you put in,
Mhm. Hmm. Yeah, I think that is gonna land. Um Just looking at all the numbers, trying to decide what I want values in. Okay. Could I actually have moved that 4 from my infrastructure to magic instead of reputation?
Yeah, you can put it wherever you want. Your
Okay.
values.
Okay. So then I'll put, instead of the 2 here, I'll put a 6. And then I can put
Put one of your
3
threes
here.
there.
Mm-hmm. Still think for the people I needed a 21.
Yeah, it's
So what do I have left? So I have 3, 6, 6, 3. I spent the 3s and the 6s.
You have one more 3.
More 3, a 2, and a 4. Let's go 3. There we go.
All right, so we end up with a 46 HOA, 55 in 45 wealth, 21 people, 52 land,
Mm-hmm.
42 reputation, and 41.
So my people, land, reputation, and magic have all been bumped up. So what does that mean for them now?
So people at a 20.
Mm-hmm. I was at nuclear family.
Yeah. You, your spouse, your 2.5 kids, your parents, in-laws, and your unwed sibling. A little bit larger family.
A little bit larger family. Okay, which makes sense for how old the family is.
You know, not just a single, couple.
Also more disposable people in case of, victory or defeat or whatever. Mm-hmm.
Things that might. And then you also bumped up your
Land.
land and reputation. Or
Land, reputation, and magic. I bumped up everything but HOA influence wealth, basically.
So land went up to
52.
You own your house, you have farm property in the country, and small office.
Okay.
You're doing pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I should clarify, you own all of this free and clear.
Oh, yes. No, of course. That makes sense again. Yeah.
And then reputation, 32.
Yep,
Talk of the
bumped
town.
it up.
Folks talk about your good deeds and the occasional small scandal lessons.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
No, but mostly people talk about your good stuff.
The good stuff, the PR stuff. I mean, the nice things that we do out of the goodness of our hearts. Yeah. And then magic, 41.
41 magic. Your family's magic is large enough to support a few other folks around.
Oh, okay. There we go.
So,
woohoo!
This is where the values are. Now we get to tell the story.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Okay. So it's 2:25. Do you want to take a short break, get refreshments, then come back and dive into storytelling?
That sounds good to me.
Drama heavy. All right, we're gonna take a short break, everybody. Stick around. We'll come back. We'll get into these wonderful details of the history of Lindy's family, because apparently she's really it's gonna be great, everybody. All right, in a few. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We hope you're refreshed, you stretched, you bio. I am your friendly neighborhood Max. This is my wonderful friend Lindy. We're building her. Now we've done math and we get to tell the house.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, everyone, hear me okay? Okay, because it seemed like, yeah, there we go. It seemed like for a minute that the noise gate was not picking up everything I was saying, so wanted to make sure. So, we're going to tell the story of this house, and this house story begins in well, let's rephrase. We need to make two decisions before we do anything else. Number one, when does your family get to Savannah?
That's a good question. When do we get to Savannah? I'm looking at the timeline here. I'm trying to figure that out. I started writing some of the things down, but then I didn't write all the things down for the events for each year. I know that
it's in the
Windfall was a hurricane because that was funny.
It's on the I put them all.
Okay. There's the dates, but what happened in those dates?
And there, it's right next to it. It says treachery, invasion, revolt, glory, victory, conquest, glory, doom. Oh, but you're talking about the historical events. But for Georgia, the next tab.
Next tab. Oh, there we go. Okay.
But those are only events that have happened in Georgia, right? Like,
so if you
decide that you aren't.
I just want to look at what the event happening corresponding with what happened to my family's timeline, and that's how I'm gonna pick. Let's see. What happened in 1820? That's yellow fever and fire. 1820. Eccentric ruler. No, that checks out. Okay, so probably a little before then. I had glory before that in 1789. Okay. French Indian War, 1754. What did that look like? That was glory. Gosh, that was all just coming up roses. What was doom? That was the war for independence. That could be a fun time to have come to Georgia.
A loyalist Brit coming to Georgia and then stays?
Something. Because that's when my family encountered doom. Like, before then, like, we start with some treachery, some invasion, revolt. And then it's glory, victory, conquest, glory. I feel like there had to have been something to cause them to move to Georgia when everything's coming up glory. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that doom might be a good time, because then following that in the 1789, that comes up glory as well. I don't know if loyalist Brit mayhaps.
No, I'm just
no, but something of the like. Shit was happening in Europe at that time too.
Yeah, there's whole, we can go anywhere on the globe. That's why Pooja.
Yeah, so I think the doom has to be when I moved from Georgia. Like doom hit, so we moved to Georgia, and then we got glory and an eccentric ruler, and it's kind of been up and down since then. But we're making the best.
Okay, so we're gonna make. Okay, so we know the date for your arrival.
Still quite early.
I'm going to put a poll up. Everybody, putting a poll up.
Yeah, Caroline. So I had doom and then came to America. Basically, had to leave the doom.
But you will. But the immediately after, it's the glory with the ratification, right? Like, so is there the doom and then you arrive in Georgia during the ratification, because that's when you get the bump in land.
Yeah, I think that has to be it. Yeah.
Okay, so would say, because I mean, like, it's so. I'm putting up a poll.
Yeah.
And everybody in chat may vote once on the answer to this question. It will only be a minute. It's only going to be up a minute. Which species is Lindy going to choose, everyone? I'm just going to say that it's up. People can vote. Y'all can vote. Ooh. Currently tied.
Oh. I like Pope's all caps, no question needed.
And then you look at the results of the poll. Apparently there
I
are
don't
questions.
see the poll.
If you're in chat, there should be like a little thing above with a little drop down
there
arrow.
should be. Knows the poll's about me.
No, you should be able to still see it though. You're in chat. It should be like right across the top with a drop down arrow.
Oh, I may need to refresh. Yeah, that could be it. Yep, that's what it was.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. The winner for the vote for the poll was vampire.
You know, I'm a sucker for bloodsuckers.
Frequently are. Like I had to put that out there just so you could.
Like if anyone ever wants to like get one on me in a game, just throw in a vampire. That's just how it is. Or I am a vampire if that's an option. Like that's Pope knows.
Pope
knows. So yeah. All right. So
Carlin
yes.
says they consider voting for Damphir to be the same thing. I mean, technically they're different.
They're vampiric bloodline. I mean, when Pope ran a D&D, you know, Magic the Gathering game in Innistrad, my immediate thought was, I want to be the vampiriest Dampier that ever Dampired. And so I did.
Okay. Sorry, that was just a side note. All right, so bad shit happened. Get the fuck out.
Oh yeah, it's like my notes. These are my notes for the timeline.
This also ends up being like kind of my note. We share these so that I can go back and have like
So in 1776, 83, bad shit happened and we got the fuck out, and then we got glory in 1789 because we're in Georgia now.
Because that's when you get that's when you get that big boost of land.
Yep.
And reputation.
Let's see, reputation and magic. Yeah.
So
and influence and HOA. Yeah.
Yeah, everything. So it's like this whole new world.
Yeah, everything took a hit before that. We're like, bye. Bye, home country. We're going to Georgia now.
Carlin says, yes, I got distracted by Lindy's cyberpunk character and forgot about all the vampires. So the next question is, we know when you get to Georgia, where are you coming from?
That's a great question. I think somewhere in Europe's a solid answer. If really terrible shit happened during the
well, I mean, your family history
War
starts
for
in
Independence.
1526.
Yeah, we old.
Yeah. And the horrible shit happened in 1754 or in 1776. Well, the thing is, 1776, people forget, kind of expand. The American War for Independence starts as just a war between the Americans and
it started that way, and then the Hessians got involved and the French got involved, and yeah.
And we got out, and the rest of them continued fucking around in Europe for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of a whole thing.
So there's a lot that you could be basically from anywhere and suffer a doom because of that time period.
Basically, yeah.
So but you start with a treachery in 1526, right?
Yes, we do start with a treachery in 1526. Whoops. Let's see. What was happening in 1526 in Europe? Oh, the decisive defeat of Hungary, led by King Louis II, by the Turks of the Ottoman Empire.
There was it's the Spanish defeat the French, or the Holy Roman Empire. Excuse me. The Holy Roman Empire defeats France, and Francis succeeds Burgundy, abandons all claims to Flanders, Artois, Naples, and Milan. But that's okay. He'll get it back late. Well, his descendants back later. And then he'll fight more against Charles, which, well,
let's see. So maybe I may have done a little traitorism, a little betrayal, and
yeah, but it's
some
like,
treachery in 1526 that may have caused a major defeat for some portion of Europe.
well, there's a couple of major defeats that are happening in this portion of Europe. I mean, like August
Yeah.
29th, the Battle of Hosh and the Ottoman
That's what
Empire
I
of
was
Solomon the
just
First.
looking at that one. Yeah, maybe it was a very decisive defeat of Hungary by the Ottoman Empire. Yeah, maybe I'm Hungarian. Maybe we're a Hungarian family, and we may have like
Well,
sold some info.
here's the other thing. That also leads to a succession crisis
Mm-hmm. Which would
between
explain the invasion revolt.
mm-hmm, which happens, a few years later.
In 1566. So, that could have been a thing. And then we get some glorious victory. The 1600 to 1754.
Yeah, I mean, you could even, if you want to lean into the trope, you could be from Transylvania.
I'm sorry, let me pick my jaw up off the floor, wipe some of this. What? So yeah. See, the Kingdom of Hungary existed until 1867, from 1526 to 1867. Yeah, I think we're from the Kingdom of Hungary.
Or you could even be from the Principality of Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm. Yes, which is in pretty much that area.
Yes.
Um,
It's why
you know, why not? Yep.
so
Liz little map here. It's so great.
because you can have
Because the Ottomans kind of took it over.
Yeah, Suspolia was John Suspolia was king of Hungary from 1526 to 1540. His rule was disputed by Archduke Ferdinand I, not Franz Ferdinand, Ferdinand I, who also claimed to be the title King of Hungary. He was voivode of Transylvania before his coronation from 1510 to 15. So he was Prince of Transylvania. There you go.
Yeah. We're Hungarian. Kingdom of Hungary, Transylvanian, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Would explain the issues with the Turks. I mean, actually, yeah. Hold on. Wait.
Uh-huh.
No. All your worst two events are events where you have problems with the Turks.
I got issues with the Turks.
Like 1914 to 1918, you have a defeat. Hi, you went into battle against the Crimean in the Crimea, and
Yeah, the Ottoman Empire. I will make known though, the Ottoman Empire didn't exist after the World War One. So yes. Again, it was all victory and glory again after that. It's just like the Turks are
gone. Okay. So bad shit happened in Transylvania. Get the fuck out. We can also tweak these dates if
Oh yeah. No, that's fire. So yes.
I'm going to use the next column over to make start putting some notes
sure.
Will make. The thing is, this will just be relevant to me, or you can family origin print from Trans. All right. This leads to my next question. I definitely misspelled that. What is the treachery? What did you all do? And who did it?
Well, there was that battle specifically in 1526.
Yes. The Battle of
we super duper lost. We super duper lost. And that's like when the Ottomans kind of took over a portion of the Kingdom of Hungary. And there was
yeah.
Yeah, but there was like 3 sections. You know, the somewhat independent principality of Transylvania. Then the main part of Hungary, and then the Ottoman controlled portion. I think maybe some strings got pulled to make a deal with the Ottoman Empire that, hey, look, you're gonna win, but we want the Principality of Transylvania to be somewhat independent.
Okay. So this period and this okay, so I'm just reading through like the description of this battle, by the way. So it's an interesting point that they put here. This is all from Wikipedia. We're reading. 3 years later, an Ottoman army set out from Constantinople on 16 April 1526, led by Suleiman the Magnificent personally. The Hungarian nobles, who still did not realize the magnitude of approaching danger, did not immediately heed their king's call for troops.
Yeah.
Eventually, the Hungarians assembled 3 main units. The Transylvanian army under John Zaploya, charged with guarding the passes in the Transylvanian Alps. The main army, led by Louis, who ends up dead, and then another smaller force commanded by the Croatians.
Maybe we didn't guard those Alps as well as we were supposed to have.
Yeah, that kind of seems like that might be a thing. What happened? Oh, a bunch of Janissaries come in. That's what happened. A bunch of Janissaries fucked your shit. Sorry. I should be more specific, but no, that really is what happened. So
yeah, I think that's what had to have happened. Maybe those mountain passes weren't as well guarded as they should have been, in exchange to be glossed over a bit more.
The Hungarian War Council, without waiting for reinforcements from Croatia and Transylvania, only a few days' march away, made a serious tactical error by choosing a battlefield near Mauritius, an open but uneven plain with some swampy marshes. What the fuck? It's 1526. No one should be fighting in a marsh. Everybody knows this.
Except nobles who've never fought in their life, apparently. Or maybe there was some well-sent letters saying, like, you know what would be a really great place for a showdown? Those swamps, though. Because we'd have to get through the mountains first, and they're never getting through those mountains.
Oh, no, even better. According to a historian, Stephen Fisher Galati, that literature shows that King Louis of Hungary himself seemed to be unable to fully understand the seriousness or the immediacy of the Turkish threat. It was possible that Louis based his confidence on the assurances of John Zaploya and his supporters who promised to come help. Look, those...
Are we the Zaploya family?
Oh, well, you're definitely tied. The Zaploya is the prince of...
Tied to them.
Yeah. The prince in Transylvania.
We're tied to the Zaploya family, probably.
Yeah,
we had some doings.
Yeah, they're...
Whoops.
Yeah, this definitely seems like things were mentioned and things were said that lead to the possibility that somebody just didn't show up when they were supposed to. They were delayed. Yeah. So was your family, one of the conspirators that agreed?
What?
Yeah.
That would be treachery, Prax. That would
And?
Yes, no, definitely. Yes.
Uh, so supported in sending false assurances of support to King of Hungary.
Sorry, bruh.
And that's why it's like you only lost a little reputation or influence, right? Because
we didn't lose a lot. It's like, oh man, that was so wild, so crazy.
You were just late, and you honestly thought that this was a thing. You were wrong.
That it would take I thought going downhill would be a lot faster coming out of those mountains. Shit, we were wrong.
But how did it lead to a rise of the house? So John Zapoya, if they support John Zapoya, he becomes king of one of the two disputed kings of Hungary, right? And the prince in Transylvania. Now you've got support. That's how you gain that power, right? Like this leads to the rise of you getting the support. But you still have this invasion result in 1566. What's going on in Hungary in 1566?
Let's see. Here we go. The siege of that's a lot of consonants. Sigeth. Siege of that fortress. King of Hungary that blocked.
It's the 80 Years' War.
Oh, that's obvious then. 80 Years' War.
No, so
that's what happened.
It's about the Habsburgs. Fuck the Habsburgs. So the Habsburgs begin and argue. Well, we need to figure out what specifically Albania at that point. But it's probably tied to the 80 Years' War when the Habsburgs begin fighting amongst themselves for control of Austria and everything else in Spain. Look, it's almost like we can. All right, so this is the 80 Years' War, and that ties to the invasion and revolt because it's you lose some reputation and some wealth and a little bit of people, but not a lot. But your people, not like you lose a son from the family, but the family itself is still stable. Oh, yeah. Well, that leads to the next question, right? You're going vampire?
Well, I mean, oops, don't exit that tab. That's my notes. Yeah, vampires, Dampier. Yeah, I have to, pricks.
Okay, so the question is, because technically they're not the same thing.
They're technically not the same thing.
Is this a mixed family? And then you can choose what you want to do with the player character. In which case you would have vampires and Dampier in the family.
Yeah, I think at this point in time we start with vampires. It's straight up vampires, and then some human blood gets mixed in throughout, and by the time we reach Savannah, it might be like one or two vampires left, but mostly Dampier. Because blend in.
There's a shit ton of things that are happening here. Could also just be like sending off a bunch of like an offshoot of the family. It's
yeah. That side of the family decided to GTF out. Started off strong vampire family.
Okay, so cool. Cool. So this leads to the question: who did this treachery specifically? Because we're gonna need names. Because if we're straight vampires, they may still be around.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying I think there might be one or two still kicking about.
So we need to know who which specifically, which vampire started this. We're sending assurances, and is this level of like, I am totally looking out my window, keeping an eye on those Janissaries.
Basically, yes, my window of my nice, decent estate. Got the ear of what's his face. I'm here to help pass along his assurances. It's going to be fine. So let's see. We are looking for a name now, are we not?
We well at least we will need a name. We also will need
looking at a list of Transylvanian last names right now. Cause
yeah,
you gotta get a good name. Hmm. Yeah, who is this? I think they had to have been a family that was close with the Prince of Transylvania. Um, Not necessarily the most high ranking,
Yeah.
but one that managed to become friends with or get in the good graces with.
So enough of
Oh,
the
you know what's even saucier?
mm-mm.
Lover of.
Female or male presenting.
Let's do a male presenting because that's more scandalous in the 1500s, which is why they could never be super obviously high ranking. But
Okay.
it's like, oh yes, my trusted advisor. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love this. I love this. All right.
Isn't
So,
it great?
uh,
Mm-hmm.
family head, male lover, male vampire lover
Yep.
of John. Probably this, but okay. All right. So we need his name.
Yes. Let's see. Oh gosh, look, Romanian vampire last names. Thanks, list. You're great.
When we can get them, they're great.
Let's see. This one might be a good one. Um, ba, 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 ba. Maybe that's one a little long, little long, little long. Ba, 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 ba. Ooh, Acheron could be fun. That means river of woe or sorrow. It's not super Romanian, but it's a possibility. Last name.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing about Romanian is that they're most of the names are tied
A
to
lot of it's tied to other
Roman.
things.
Well, it's also tied to Roman
Roman,
expansionists.
yeah.
Almost like Roman expansion.
What? Those Romans would never.
Yeah.
Never.
You say that. I do not think you wonder.
Oh, you know what? No, this one's perfect. This is the Romanian term for the region of Transylvania, according to this one list. Ardeline, but it also sounds like super fucking southern. Like,
Oh
oh,
yeah, say that.
Mary Sue Ardeline?
No, think about Adeline. Is it Ardeline or Ardelan?
Ardeline.
Adeline. We're gonna have to
Let's
figure
see
out how
this
that
works.
gets
Romanian
slurred.
accent. Ardeline.
All right, so is
Ardeline.
that the first name or the family name?
I think that's the family name. I think the family name is Ardeline.
All right, so we need his first name though,
Yes.
because we figure that the name will come. The family name may not be like said.
Ardeline.
Ardelan.
Ardeline. Yeah. Okay, so I think he's got to have like something super Roman because this vampire, he didn't just exist. He just waited a while to create a family, like get involved with politics.
Might not even be his first one.
That's true.
All right, so here's the thing. The first names were very set. There were like 18 of them that you could choose, and then there was the family name and then cognomen. So when we say Julius Gaius Caesarus,
mm-hmm.
Gaius Julius Caesarus, Gaius is the first name, Julius is the family name, and Caesarus was his cognomen. So would he be in 1526, if he was a vampire and hanging around from the Roman period? We can figure out exactly which Roman period, how old in the Roman period he was.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's at least Roman period, right? Like imperial Roman period. Is he now known by his cognomen or his family name? Because I bet he's probably not known by any of the first names. Those were not what people kind of were, but not.
I think what would make most sense?
Because most people end up being called by their cognomens. Like Cicero, right? Like you don't. Most people know him as Cicero instead of Marcus Tullius Cicero, and forget that there are like 5 other.
Let's see. Probably that then. Yeah.
So
That's
known
what
by his
people
cognomen, right? Like
probably.
All right.
Yeah.
So. What kind of name? You want to think it sounds good with Ardeline, right?
Adeline. Let's see. Maybe and he'd probably be using like the modernized twist because again, some names got updated.
Yeah.
So maybe like he could have been so what were some common names that were all over the place?
In the 1500s and in Transylvania.
Let's see. Luca, which is for Luke.
Yeah. Very common.
Yeah, like why not Luca? Luca Ardeline.
Okay, Luca Ardeline. And that might actually have been his actual first name, right? Like not his cognomen. Because Lucas is a first name. And then
sure.
Well,
yeah,
Lucius
that works. It fits. It works with the
Okay, so Luca with a C, double C or K?
With a C, Luca.
Okay, Luc. Luca. Okay, so we got Luca. He a vampire.
He's the head of the house.
He's the head of the family, and he is sleeping with the king. It's great for him.
And I'll tell that treachery and well, he was on that side of the treachery. He was doing it for that guy. Yeah, it's the main king he had an issue with.
Yeah, it was the king of Hungary and his not great plan when it came to the Ottoman Turks.
He really didn't like those Turks.
Nope. Okay, so then we have an invasion revolt in 1566, and that's the 80 Years' War.
Yeah.
That's basically a war that will be a war of succession, or it begins with this, this split in the king of Hungary, but it also continues on later.
Also all over the place.
Yeah, pretty much, because it's the Habsburgs and they fuck around. So
found out too.
Pretty much. Yeah, it's basically the Burgundy.
Basically, 80 Years' War. Like I feel like that's a good enough. It was so long ago.
It was the 80 Years' War, and the Habsburgs start invading, so you've got problems.
There's just problems all over the place.
Okay,
80 years of problems.
80. Well, yeah, ongoing. So this leads to my next question, right? Like at this point, right, with a 19, and then you only lose one person. You've got a nuclear family. So we know that Luca is screwing the king or the prince, technically.
Yeah, the prince.
But like, and they're all kind of. Luca is y'all's Lestat. I mean, he might be a metalhead. We don't know yet. 80 years of problems, but the prince ain't one. Fair, nice. Volpez, fair. So we get. My next question is: you lose a one from the family, right? Or people.
Yep.
So, how many children? Like, is this when we start to have Damphir, or is he still having vampire children at this point?
I think he's still having vampire children at this point.
Okay. So he loses one of the vampire children.
One of the vampire children.
It doesn't matter. But the family is still fully vampire. No half vampires yet. All right. Glory, 1607.
I like the contrast of our notes. I'm like, 80 years war, loses a child, vampire child. It happens. And you're like, family's still fully vampire.
Look, these are for me because I'm going to take, like, I'm putting these all in these places so I can go back and
Yeah. No,
I might
that
need
makes
this
sense.
portion of information.
Right. So 1607, we have some victory. At this point, Prince is dead of old age, probably.
If we're considering
Unless we turned in,
Tapaya,
but you know. Mm-hmm.
he dies in 1540.
Oh yeah, no, okay, so we're well past him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay then. We have some glory here in 1607. What happened in 1607?
1607 in Transylvania? 1607. Yes, Transylvania. Not... All right. Wikipedia.
Looks like a pretty quiet year, mostly just getting coins.
Okay, so 1600 1610s. Let's go with 1610s, right?
Yeah.
Oh look, the 30 Years War.
They really like had a bunch of wars, you know.
Frequently. So we can go to the 1600s, early 1600s. What is anything going on in Michael the Brave. In May 27th, Michael the Brave, literally that's what he's called, becomes ruler of Wallachia, Transylvania, and Moldavia, formally uniting the three Danubian principalities under one Romanian ruler.
Oh.
We now have a Romanian in charge of Transylvania.
Yep.
And then in September, the Battle of Miroslaus, I think, takes place.
Oh yeah, 1604 to 1606, the Hungarian nobleman Stefan Bocskai led a successful rebellion against Austrian rule.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Prince of Transylvania, blah 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 blah. Yeah, no, I think that has to be it. Like Transylvania is now its own country. Glory to us for all sorts of great stuff. And of course, we were pulling some strings, doing some things.
And see, that's the other great thing about this is because the lore.
Oh, and then the Golden Age happened from 1613 to 1629. Oh, that's so nice.
It's almost like it backs up with your victory and your conquest.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah.
Okay, so Victoria,
Transylvania
becomes
country
part of Romania. Victory abounds. Vampires manipulating?
Yes, definitely.
Question mark? Yes. So that actually works all the way. So that's 1607. That's where you're getting this glory. You probably gain like individual, like who is the individual who actually gains the glory on like the battlefield?
Oh, being vampires, they know they have to like cycle through generations to be undercover and stay cool.
But it's like they're, you know, it's also how willing were people in the area to tolerate their, you know, everyone knew that there was something a little off about the family that's the landlords, but at the same time, they're really good to us and take care of us. We don't really care.
Yeah, we did really well until 1776. We'll find out what happened then. Bad shit. It's bad. So we have three more before we get to the bad stuff. Okay, it's victory, conquest, and glory.
So this goes back to my question: is like, who is in 1607? Who's the actual person who did glory? Like, because the book gives you glory. A family wins glory through military victory, personal achievement, or by great act of heroism. So, like, who dis?
I think this has to be one of the vampire children.
Okay, so vampire child, fully vampire.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And let's see, when was she around the big thing? 14. Okay. I think this since it was military victory, It's probably a vampire's son.
There's lots of cross-dressing, but yes, we can go with vampire son.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was like, well, Joan of Arc happened like a good 2 centuries before. They could have been like inspiration, like, oh yeah, you know what? No, let's make it a vampire daughter.
I mean, as long as there's been military conflict, there have been women disguising themselves on the battlefield as men. That's
how many of them have gotten super amounts of glory. This one, because she's a vampire. So vampire daughter. Let's name her Magdalena. Magdalena.
I'm loving this, and I am so here for this tropiness all up in this, in the best possible.
Takes the cake. There we go.
Oh, Curlin, I make a distinction between women warriors and women disguising themselves as men to fight on battlefield, because women warriors they're doing two different things. They're both
yes, and also more prevalent in different parts of history.
Yeah, exactly.
1500s Europe was not a big time of warrior women. No.
Big time for possibly women disguising themselves as men to fight in the battlefield.
Yes, but not women warriors.
Yeah.
They weren't going a Viking, like they were 300, or 400 years prior.
Even the Scythians weren't fielding women. The Scythians don't exist at this point, unfortunately. But it is an important point. Yes. So, all right. So Magdalena achieves military glory. Roughly at some point in this event, right? Like.
Yeah. Just did a heckin' cool move on a battlefield. There was like a night raid or something.
Okay.
Like a bunch of cavalry charged in through a camp, fucked shit up. Yeah.
Fighting the Ottomans? Are they fighting the Ottomans or are they fighting the Habsburgs? That's the question. Are we fighting Ottomans or are we fighting Habsburgs?
Let's see. They are fighting in the the Austrians, actually.
Okay, the Habsburgs.
Yep. Yeah.
Fighting the Austrians. There we go. Disguised as a man.
Yep.
And human.
And human. Yes. That too.
There's a lot of disguising going on.
Lots of disguising.
Cool. All right. So then 1665, we have a victory for the house. And a victory is the house family achieved an important victory over their enemies. So who are the enemies in 1665?
In 1665, let's see. Oh, we lost a city to the Ottomans in August 1660. Let's see. Oh, and then in 1691 we changed up the ruling system.
We can switch things up if we need.
Yeah. Oh no, there was a Transylvanian peasant revolt in when? Oh, 1438. Okay, that's fine. That was before that. Maybe it could be the Ottomans again, honestly. They're just all over the place right now. There's no demographic change significant between the Middle Ages and 1750. What year is it again?
1665, but if we need to go a couple years either way.
A couple years, yeah.
Again, I picked the dates based on when they would be relevant most to Savannah.
Apparently, people were writing to the Prince of Transylvania in 1663 about runaway Romanian serfs. In 1668, population of several Romanian villages migrated to Transylvania, and the Romanian voivodes harassed the prince with demands that the runaway villains be
By the way,
repatriated.
I need to give a clarification here. When they say runaway villains, they don't mean a bad guy in a movie. They mean villains as in baseborn and servant class and peasants.
Yeah.
Calling someone a
Maybe
villain was...
our victory, because it doesn't look like we gave those people back.
It doesn't look like
maybe let's see. Did we get a population boost or land boost or anything in that? What do we get? What do we get during victory?
You get a minor power boost, a big boost to influence, and a minor boost to magic.
Oh, so I think what happened is those people were like migrating to Transylvania from Romania
to avoid, to not be serfs. Yeah.
Maybe some of them were magical, and they moved to our section, and so we consider that kind of a victory. We're like, oh yes.
Is this the first time we have a successful Damphir birth?
Yes, let's do that.
Magical humans coming in, meeting vampire. Well, there has to be a reason why Damphir are rare, and probably because, not a normal human. Something else to kind of give birth to a...
Yep.
So, peasants fleeing Romania, defended by the family, by the Transylvanians. I mean, in general,
a sign of goodwill towards them. Like, yes, stay here. It'll be good for everyone involved.
Yeah, protection.
It's a victory for us. Yeah. Yep.
Maybe there's like a small skirmish that leads to like a victory.
Yeah, like maybe some troops were following, and we were like, no.
Yeah.
There are people now that came to us.
Influx of magicals leads to the first birth of the birth of the first Damphir. And I made notes about Damphir in particular. In the lore notes and in I did that.
Damphir, always the product of a vampire father and a human mother. Vampires cannot give birth. The creation of a Damphir is always intentional and requires certain rituals, which may vary based on culture.
Yes, because I did not want. I didn't want to play into the vampire rape trope that comes with Damphir. I wanted something a little bit different. Also, it's a lot harder to, like.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
There's a lot of stuff going on. Okay, so that explains why we needed the magicals.
How long do Damphir live in your lore?
We haven't gotten there, like I know vampires are, as long as they don't
get ganked.
We're leaning in. By the way, guys, we are leaning hard into true Bram Stoker mythology vampires. This sparkle in sunlight shit.
No.
Stories about bats and wolves and poofs of smoke, good. Invitations, yes. The ability to daywalk. Hey, by the way, Dracula could walk during the daylight. He was just
and it's not garlic; it's garlic flowers.
Yeah, all of those kind of things. At least
which are a lot harder to get. I only bloom at certain times of the year.
And silver was actually a bigger threat because it was tied to the fact that vampirism was theoretically a curse brought along by Judas and 30 pieces of silver.
Yeah, and you couldn't see the reflection in mirrors at the time because they were silver backed. It's not a problem after like the 1800s, 20th century.
That's why they didn't show up on film, because silver nitrate.
Silver was in the film.
But yes, we're gonna lean hard into that. Now, admittedly, if one of the other, I'm contacting people, like a large variety of people like Pooja and a couple others who have agreed to help me add some color to our subdivision.
Delightful.
If they choose to do, because one of the things I did put is that they're in this lore, it's the very beginning of the lore, certain beings are limited to certain ethnic traditions, but some exist amongst all ethnic traditions, but might be called different things by different peoples.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So many offshoots of
exactly.
lores.
So, if somebody wants to tweak that because of they want to, well, also Jiangxi is an entirely separate option that but if you want to be a vampiric you know, vampiric being from a different ethnic tradition that has slightly different
You'd have different abilities.
Yeah, you'd have slightly different abilities because of the superstitions tied to them. Again,
Like
urban
I could have
fantasy.
been a vampire watermelon. They were a thing.
Yes, they're entertaining things.
You'd roll around and go. Grrr.
So there's
Look
lots
it
of
up.
ways in which they could happen. Exactly.
There's like some sad cousin of the family that's just a watermelon rolling around in the front lawn, and they're like, Charles, shut up. Don't harass the guests.
Stop eating
How did that happen? Don't ask.
Stop eating the onions. They're not good for you. Look, Vidalias would be a problem. All right. So the first Damphir. All right. So this leads to my next question: is that first Damphir the child of Luca, or the child
Ooh.
of one of the other members of the family?
I think. See, because the family was pretty small
Well,
until
it's a nuclear family, right?
until
Effectively.
conquest. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So just had 1 to 2 kids. I think. Let's see. Ooh, yeah, no, I think it is a child of Luca.
Okay. Cool, Luca, your first live birth. Um. All right.
Magdalena, you've got a sibling.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Lots of it. All right, so conquest. 1733. 1730s. Sylvain.
Let's see, 1711, more Habsburg shenanigans. Okay. Let's see. 1700s, Transylvania.
Okay. So the Ottomans come to power over Transylvania after the Battle of Vienna in 1680.
Okay.
Ooh, and this could be where things get very interesting for the family because, in addition to strengthening the central government administration, they promoted the Roman Catholic Church as the uniting force into
Principality often has dual vassalage, Ottoman and Habsburg Hungarian kings, which is interesting. Sounds like a clusterfuck.
Because it's the Ottoman, the Austro-Hungarian Empire hasn't officially become a thing yet. Well, kind of is, but it isn't. Consolidated place with Habsburg Imperial. In 1711, the Habsburg replaced all the
was consolidated with Hungarian Transylvanian princes, were replaced with Habsburg Imperial governors until the Hungary Revolution of 1848. Which, yeah, okay, interesting.
All right, so more specific.
We don't have a lot on a quick. See what
are we looking?
We're
looking for a conquest, right?
Yeah.
I mean, do we want to move it
1733
to 1711?
I think that'd be smart. Have that be just to make it the timeline a little easier.
I mean, we can, or
There's
Conquest
not a
is.
lot of events in the 1700s
So
for
is this
like
a
easy
situation?
to
Is
find.
this a situation where the conquest is more diplomatic
Political?
than
I
physical?
think so. I
Where
think so.
because you retain power.
Mm-hmm. That's yep, because it's a thing. Everyone else is losing power, which is why we take a reputation hit from all
Mm-hmm.
our other local Transylvanian lords, is because we maintain power.
Yep, and
We
you
get
lose a little bit of magic because you had to do something, maybe give up a little bit of land, maybe, or you don't really
mm-hmm.
lose land, but you
We
had to do
gain land,
you lose a little bit
people,
of
wealth,
magic.
and influence. We lose some reputation, a little bit of magic. We
So
disappointed a couple people.
you disappointed a couple people, which removes some of your dietary pool. All right. Cool. Through politics and manipulation, maintain power when
I mean, honestly, we even gained a little bit of power.
yeah
Maintained and grew power.
power when other nobles
Yeah, a lot of other nobles didn't fare so well.
are being replaced
With Austrians.
with Austrian governors. Right? Because, like, the princes of Transylvania are being replaced, and it's like, we're not quite that high up at this point. But we still maintain you still maintain your power. Probably, look, good old vampire mind wipes. Vampire charm. Vampire charm is your friend.
Yeah. Maybe we had to use a lot of it, and so we like drained our magic resources a bit rather than like losing somebody. We just had to use so much of it. We were like, "Whew, we're tired." that took a lot out of
Total war
us.
is the thing. Vampire charm. So that's how you main. Okay, so we are now 1754. Um, what do we got? What do we got?
Say 1754.
Well, we also need a glory, right?
Yep. Let's see. 17...
And it can't be the events of 1784 because the family on their way out.
We're on our way out. 1765, the Grand Principality of Transylvania was proclaimed. Because like the control was consolidated in 1711, but in 1765 it was proclaimed. That's when we're out though, right?
No.
Oh, 1776.
Yeah,
okay.
So
like it was proclaimed. In 1784 was the revolt detonated by Romanian peasant leaders.
Yeah.
Oh, that could be a thing. That's how we could have our glory and then doom. So we could have been, when it was officially, the principality was made in 1765, when the Grand Principality of Transylvania was proclaimed, consolidating the separate status of Transylvania within the Habsburg monarchy. That could have been us doing some more things. But then in 1784, instead of the American, we could have the revolt be like when bad shit happened to our family.
Yeah, so you can then and then that means that when you arrive in Georgia in 1789,
the peasants, yeah.
All right, so the peasant revolt in 1784.
Yes.
Oh, so you can now even find the revolt of Horia Koshka and Christian. Began in the Metapleferia Mountains in Transylvania, but spread throughout all of Transylvania and the Apuseni Mountains. The revolt was directly related to the poor conditions of the feudal serfs in the Principality of Transylvania. Although Orthodox Romanians lacked political equality with Catholic subject in Transylvania. What? That's like a pendant clause.
So I know what happened for the Doom. Those
Okay.
peasants revolted and killed Luca.
There you go. All
We
right.
lost the head of the
There you
family.
go. There you go. Um,
Because he had
revolt
a nuclear sized family, so he
in
would have like a daughter, a son,
80.
and then this damp here, and then he gets killed here.
Uh,
And that's why we gotta go, because oh god, Luca's dead. Peasants are revolting.
because you have to figure by this
Before
point,
we know it, the Ottomans are gonna be back. Let's
look,
go.
at his minimum age, like right, if we make him a
Mm-hmm.
Roman imperial, minimum age is over 1300 years.
Yeah. He had a good long life.
I mean, you can even make him like closer to 1700.
I think 13. 13 sounds like a good number.
Because that would put
Lucky
him
number
like
13.
that would be at the end of the Roman Imperium.
I think that's a good time to have it. Yeah.
It also makes sense, like if he was Roman from the pre-fall, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
but he, you know, but he's that lived, you know, it was close enough that he saw it and got the fuck out. Went to Romania, possible. All right, so peasant
Mm-hmm.
revolt kills. All right, so then the Grand Principal kicked the Romans out. So who is the individual who gains the glory in 1765?
I think that's got to be Magdalena's brother,
Which
not the
one?
Dampier one.
Okay.
The other full vampire. Let's see. Uh,
And is he older or younger than Magdalene?
I think he's younger.
All right, younger, full vampire, child.
Oh, I think his name's Marcus. Magdalena and Marcus.
Okay, Marcus. Uh, who fights in the battle and uses. That's what we get. Whatever, Jar. Okay, so then the last thing we need to know is the Stamfir, right?
Yes.
They're a boy or girl? Did we?
Think girl.
Daughter.
2 daughters and a son.
Yep. Son is such a middle child. Very interesting. All right, so what is her name?
Mm-hmm.
Are we sticking with this M theory?
Yeah, like this generation, right from Luca would be M's. That's
Yeah,
not that's
going
very
from
that's very
L to M. Yeah, I see what you did there.
that was not intentional. But I'm living for it. See, we have Magdalena.
We have Marcus.
See. One of the most common names is Maria.
Yeah, of course.
Of course. I mean, no one should be surprised. I think I like Marina better.
Marina?
Marina. Magdalena, Marina, and Marcus.
That works. That. Alright. Okay. Cool. I went to get food. Does Lindy have a house name yet? The house name, we do have a house name. It's
Yes.
Ardodine.
Yep.
And we've just killed off Luca.
We did just kill off Luca. I mean, I had one big doom in the timeline. It makes sense.
Yes, you need to have a big figure for being Damphir. Would she be the N generation? No, because she's still Luca's child, right? She's
Luca's progeny, yeah. Now,
right.
if you know, Magdalena turns anyone, or Marcus turns anyone, or
Marcus impregnates anyone.
Marina, yeah, Marina technically being Dampier might be able to finagle some rituals or something together.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Krellin. We killed Luca.
Oh yeah, we killed Luca. He did.
Apparently, we were talking over.
Oh.
All right. So in Georgia now.
Yep.
With the house name. House name is Ardalan.
I'll put it in the chat.
That works. All right. So, glory. What is the glory in 17?
Let's see what happened in 1789, Georgia.
Well, the ratification of the United States Constitution.
Not a lot of war there.
No, the war is over.
Yeah.
You could do it as maybe political, or is it a
political ratification of the United States Constitution? Let's see. Look at this historical events timeline again. Well, Georgia's the fourth state. Yeah, I think maybe they moved in and wanted to establish themselves quickly, so they moved into Savannah because that's the capital, and started making some political moves. I think Marina had to get married and pull some husbando strings.
Tied to a well-established, good Southern family.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, so we need a good leading families of Georgia. Let's say
so is it Marina or Magdalena, but I feel like it would be Marina here because I imagine the two full-blooded vampire children are still a bit shaken from the death of, their progenitor.
Ooh, I got one for you.
Yes.
The Telfair family.
The Tell family?
Telfair. Telfair. The Telfair family of Savannah was one of the most prominent in Georgia during much of the 18th and 19th centuries. The family patriarch Edward Telfair, one of the many Scotsmen who settled in Georgia during the colonial period. Today, you can actually still tour the mansion.
I'm Googling that. Telfair.
I got you right here.
Mansion. You know me, I'm a sucker for.
Here you go.
Star Wars.
There you go. House looks
Ooh, yeah. No, that would totally appeal to like those Transylvanian castle senses too. Like, yes, I see your house. Reminds me of Home Sweet Castle Home. Now,
admittedly,
see, what year are we in?
We're
1789. Yes. So Edward and Sarah. Edward Jr. would have been the first.
He was on the right side, Edward. He was on the right side on that. Served in the Continental Congress from 1778 to 1785. Wait, when is he? He was born in 1735, so in 1785.
18, yeah.
He's 50. So he's. Edward Jr. was born in 1780. I think that's not going to work.
No. He had sons in succession, 84, 86, and 89. But what could have happened is 1789, Edward Sr., his wife, Sarah, could have perished in childbirth, and he, was lonely, and so Marina could have swept in.
Well, I mean, because they'd go on to have 3 daughters.
Who's to say it was Sarah, though, and not Marina, maybe? Because it's not Magdalena, so Dampier might be able to be like...
I mean, we can change history. We did it for the Astors.
Yeah. So the 3 sons happen. 89 dies in childbirth, and then is like, oh, but wait. Hello. I do find it interesting, though, that if we do that, the daughters all come from Marina. No sons after that.
Yeah, and it's just marrying the daughter to establish the family lineage, rather because Magdalena and Marcus still have to get married and still have to have their own children. So
basically, the Telfair family would kind of become like cousins of the, of the Ardalan family.
Oh, this is where it gets really good. Telfair married Sarah Gibbons in 1774, a year when revolutionary fervor was at its height in Savannah. Telfair was almost 40, and his bride was a girl of 16.
Oh, so he's known for marrying younger women anyway.
No, no.
So Marina would have.
The Gibbons family is one of the most distinguished families in Georgia and extremely wealthy. Sarah's father was born at Bear Bluff in South Carolina.
Ooh.
Or fought. Yeah. He came before James Oglethorpe even came to Savannah. But their first child wasn't born until 1780. Crellin's idea to lean into a little bit more of that vampire power and full-on soap opera bit that we're doing a little bit with this.
Yes,
Marina gets introduced as Sarah and becomes Sarah.
Ooh. That could be fun. Yeah, because Dampier could totally... and have
always been Sarah.
3 daughters. It always has been. Yeah. She's just very good friends with the Ardeline family.
Look. If they came in 1789, Alexander is born in 1789.
Yeah.
The youngest of the
That's when the swap could have happened. Yeah.
Because then the next daughter is born in 1791.
And then it's Sarah, named after the mother. Interesting. Margaret.
No, Mary, Sarah, Margaret.
Mary, Sarah, and Margaret. Yeah. So yeah.
Oh, look, Marina.
Mary.
Sarah.
Yeah.
You have Magdalena for the Margaret. There you go. Sarah goes. A different Sarah comes back. No, she doesn't even have to go traveling. It's just things just happened. She's always been Sarah. I like this. Okay, so Marina marries Edward.
Well, I guess there's no there marries.
No, that's why I put it in marries.
Yeah.
Marries Edward Telfair by assuming the identity of Sarah Telfair.
And the daughters are always a little odder than the sons.
Has 3 daughters. There you go. And then that's how you solidify this family. It explains away the drop from public eye. It's like you gave birth and then 1789 got infant children. And the thing is, the oldest of the boys in 1789
is only 5.
Yeah, he's 5. It's like he's not gonna remember.
Oh no, 80. So he's 9, but he dies in his teens. So the next oldest is 5. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Wonder why he died in his teens. Maybe he found out something he wasn't supposed to.
Edward Jr. you're talking about.
Yes, Edward Jr.
Versus Josiah and Thomas. Because then the next 3 are Josiah, Thomas, and Alexander.
Yep. Because he would have been 9, but then he dies in his teens.
Yeah.
So, if he died in his teens, though, he could have been... Yeah, he would have been teenager. Something could have happened. He could have found out a little too much and then be like, oh, well, at least there's still 3 more sons.
Yeah.
And 3 daughters.
Or, there could be lots of reasons. Lots of reasons. He just dies. We don't know.
It's mysterious. So strange. Yeah, I feel like it makes sense for Marina to step up once they move to Georgia.
Yeah.
To get out of the public. Out of the shadow a bit of the Ardeline family name in Romania. And also, again, the 2 full-blooded vampires are still probably a bit shaken by the death of Luca, whereas she's like, I'm half human, I bounce back, I'm over it already, let's go.
Yeah. Edward Jr.
mysteriously dies
in teens. Did he know too much?
It's a question.
Nobody knows. Well, that might be that. All right, so now we
sudden wasting disease. Yeah.
Sudden wasting. So many of those that happened. Particularly in Savannah, which is home to a swamp. All right. So 1820, the family gets taken over by an eccentric ruler.
lose some influence and people, but we gain nothing. Oh no, we gain a little bit of land and magic.
Gain a little bit of land and magic.
Interesting. Okay.
So I like this idea. Okay, so we know that Marina. So when was Marina born? He said
1665.
So over 100 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she probably still looks really good, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, glamours are a thing.
Yeah, and also she's half vampire. Vampires live so fucking ever.
Effectively immortal. So
yeah.
But here's the thing:
vampires live at least several hundred years.
Yeah, at least several hundred years. So we know that she's not ruling the family, right? Because she's technically kind of married out, but not really. Who is this eccentric ruler? Is this Marcus? Is this Magdalena? Is this one of their children?
Yeah, that is a good question. By
1820.
Marcus and Magdalena are pretty old by this point.
Yeah, and they're full vampires, so.
But they're full vampires. Okay, but they're not pretty old for vampires, but eccentric ruler. And then we have invasion. Oh gosh.
Well, we know what the invasion is. The invasion is the Civil War.
It's the Civil War. Dang Yankees. We're just trying to establish our reign here in Georgia. Gosh.
Which also explains why you did pretty good at coming out of the
infrastructure afterwards.
Yeah. Marching through Georgia.
Okay, eccentric ruler. Is this Marcus? Is this Magdalena? Is this one of their children? Yeah, I think Magdalena can only create vampire children.
Yeah.
Marcus can have Dampier children or vampire children. I think. Let's see. I think one of them should have a child. Oh, you know what? Marcus, this sounds fun. Marcus has a child, and the child wants to step up and tries to make moves, but it's not good. The child is just causing all sorts of problems, so they have to
kill
them off. Yep.
Vampire
have to do some family
human?
Maintenance. I feel like Dampier, but something happened wrong in the ritual, and that's why they're a little unhinged. That's why they're.
Is this the individual that's the first Dampier born in Georgia? Maybe you don't know the magic well enough.
I mean, Luca died. He knew how to do it perfectly. But this was our first attempt.
But not even just the knowledge about that, but you changed entire countries and continents. The land has different magic, right?
Yep.
So the ritual, which was prepared for Transylvania, is not prepared.
Yeah, I think they figured out the flaws of that ritual quickly and put it out of commission.
It's like the plants are different, right? There's a different biome.
Different ley lines.
Different lines. We are used to this particular variety of
and that's why we actually have a magic increase, is because we figured out what happened wrong in the ritual.
Okay, so Marcus has a Dampier child that goes slightly wrong, and they
full on unhinged
begin making. I mean, what do we lose? What do you lose here? You lose people? Yeah, them.
And influence, which makes sense if we have to kill the Dampier.
Yeah,
we lose that member.
Yeah,
and then because he probably had this. Yeah,
I mean, it's also what historical event is this is 1820, so this is the fire.
Ooh. I know how the fire got started.
Yeah. began making questionable investments.
Full on just started arson. That town fire started because of this.
And then arson.
Yeah.
Caused the fire. Okay, so here's the question. Does Marcus actually need to kill the child himself? Or is this a...
I think Magdalena cleans it up.
Is this an Obi-Wan Anakin? He causes the fire, but he's still a Damphir, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is he like horribly badly burned and Magdalena has to like just end it?
I don't think he's full on as horribly burned.
Well, he's probably not missing as many limbs.
Yeah. I think he's not realized that he's not. I think he's more. I believe this Damphir. Let's get a good name for him. It's gotta start with an N.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably have like a bit of a Romany vibe to it because
Look, we're not calling him Nero. No.
That would have been great.
No, but think about where you are, Georgia, 1820. Too close to other words that might not.
I was thinking probably like Nicholas.
Nicholas?
That would have been a very respectable 1800s name that harkens back to older name origins.
And is it Nicholas or Niklaus?
Oh, I think it's whatever the popular spelling is at the time.
Oh, so we need Victorian. Well, technically Victorian name. Well, not really Victorian, but.
Oh, it's 1820s, so it's Regency as well. So yeah, no, Roman names are super in right now. So we could actually go more Roman.
Yeah.
Actually.
Going full Roman.
Well, let me look at more Roman names then, because like we can go super duper Roman. Let's see.
Acacius, but that's
a little too Neptune. That would have been a thing. But that's kind of water. Nicodemus. Nazarius. Navius.
Okay, you're going with the alphabetical names. I love it, Lindy. Thank you, Krellin. Oh. Naso.
Naso.
That means nose.
So they were like, people were naming children anything Roman at that time. They were like, is it a Roman god? That's their name. Is it like Julius Caesarus Augustus? Yes. Blah blah blah. Like it
Neptune explaining his love of fire and the power of water to put it out. I mean,
Narcissus.
Look, if we have Narcissus cause a fire because of his own self-importance and narcissism, it would be on brand. Just saying.
Nigelus.
Rather on the nose. I mean, that's Naso, but yeah.
That's Spanish. Not a ton of Roman in names. It's not they're one of their favorite letters.
Yeah, it's not really. For a lot of reasons.
I mean, it all makes sense. I mean, Nero's looking kind of good. It also is, you know, the what was the turn of phrase? Eccentric ruler.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I am aware of eccentric ruler. Look.
Who burns the city down?
He doesn't actually burn the city down. Hi, your periodic classics reminder that
No,
Nero
I'm
wasn't in the
just saying.
fucking city of Rome at the time. But yes, your Nero could burn Savannah.
Yeah. Maybe that's where some of the misconstruing happens. Do you hear Nero burned the city down? That ancient Roman guy?
Nero, fine, we're going with Nero.
We're going with Nero. It's a classic.
Magdalena has to put him down afterward. Cool. This leads to my next question. Marcus had this kid. Who is he having this kid with? And what happens to her?
That's a great question, isn't it? I think something a little tragic to also set Nero off edge, you know.
Does she die in childbirth?
I mean, it is a classic.
Is that also one of the signs that the ritual didn't go right?
I think, yeah. I think that'd be a good sign. Yeah.
Okay, so what's her name?
Her name, see, she should be a local, a native.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be native. I don't think she's from a big family. I think Marcus went off the sidelines a bit.
But I guess the question is she white?
I don't think so. That's probably why he tried to keep it quiet.
Is she black?
I'm gonna also go with no.
Okay.
I want to say maybe I think she's native.
Ooh, okay. And that could be where the other issue with the spell
part of the
like,
issue, yeah, because like, you get some local magics going with the yeah.
And you're so used to working with these particular plants from this biome, and then come to like, sorry, it's different issue. Okay, so what's her name? And she's Creek Indian.
Yeah. Let's get her a good name.
And is it an anglicized name or a in Creek? Creek Native American.
Okay, no, I found it. Nita, which is her Creek name, but her anglicized version would have been Anita.
There you go.
So they call her Nita. It's like her nickname, but it's actually her name.
Okay.
If she has to like fill out paperwork or whatever, yeah.
Are they married?
I'm gonna go with no. Her dad said no. Her dad wouldn't give permission because he thought something was sus.
Creek Native American. And would you say that perhaps the family is magical?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Not married. Her father objected. She dies in the ritual to give birth to Nero. Okay, so this leads to my next question. How old is Nero in 1820?
Like
the family arrives in 1789, right?
Let's I think he may have been, she may have been their emotionally comfort, like a source of comfort for our dear Marcus. Um, so Nero probably would have been,
Close to 30?
let's see, we got there in 1789. So yeah, maybe like 25,
Okay,
26.
so he's born in 1895, 1894, or 1794, sorry.
Let's go 1795, just make it easy math. He's 25. He was 25 when that happened.
Okay, so he dies when he's 25. Right, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. This is fun. We're having all the fun with this family, y'all. All right. Then she dies. Sorry. Ooh. Ooh, okay.
I bet the
Okay.
child was like a thing to be like, you have to let us get married now. There's a kid. But then she dies in childbirth.
All right. Welcome, the Union Army marching through Georgia. Yankees abound.
That's my note. That's my note for Civil War. Yankees abound.
All right, so what do we lose in what do you lose in this, right? Like
That is a good question. What do I
mostly
lose?
power and a large hit to power and reputation and a minor hit to people and wealth.
Yeah, I lost
So it's been
a
40
little
years.
wealth. Yeah. Mostly people and a good chunk of reputation.
So it's been 40 years since
Mm-hmm.
y'all's family caused a small fire that destroyed a major portion of the city.
Whoops. How many
Um
people know it was our fault, though?
Actually, apparently. Um Leads to the next question, right? Like
Mm-hmm. Oh, apparently all the Telfair children studied in the north. I was curious. I'm like, maybe some of them died. That's why the population took a hit.
well, all of them
Um,
studied in the north, and then 1800 his 18 so Edward Telfair dies in 1807.
mm-hmm.
Josiah takes on the plantation.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's been some years. I forget how many years it's been.
Yeah,
It's just an old family.
he had a Thomas Telfair was a lawyer and a
Oh yeah, 89.
planter.
They would probably all be dead
Well,
by the time the
also,
Civil War
but
comes
also the
around.
thing is like Thomas Telfair is the only one who gets married. Josiah,
Oh, all the rest of them don't get married.
well, only
There's our
one of the
population.
only let me rephrase that. He was only one of the sons to marry.
Mm-hmm.
The daughters, however, is a separate issue. But the Telfair men had no use for the Federalist Party and its philosophy of strong central government. Thomas Telfair was elected to the U.S. Congress in 1813 and served in that body until 1817. Josiah died in 1817 at the age of 32.
Ooh,
And then Thomas died 11 months later at 31.
sus. Interesting how it's all the original children. Um,
Alexander became head of the family at age 29, taking over the plantation and the mercantile operations. Owned it. Uh, So Sarah Gibbons Telfair died in 1827.
okay.
So if she died
Mm-hmm.
in died in 1827,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like when was Marina actually born? So Marina is born 1665, right? So she's
Mm-hmm.
like 150 years old. So she probably still she had to make work to kind of look like she is aging, but
Yeah. Magic.
Alexander Telfair died in Virginia in the fall of 1832 on his way home from summering up north. Margaret Telfair married William Brown Hodgson in
Dang.
London.
Looks like the sisters didn't get married either.
Well, except for Margaret,
Margaret, yeah,
who's the
who died in
youngest.
1874. Mary, who never married, died in 1875. What year are we?
1860.
Okay,
Right.
so
That's when we're
she's getting old.
exactly.
She was the last by the telephone. Her name left the family mansion to the Georgia Historical Society. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Interesting, interesting.
For the purpose of establishing the Telfair Academy of Arts and Sciences. So
Is that why we take a reputation hit around that time?
I think, well, I don't think
the Telfair because the Telfair family's dropping like flies and they were influential for us.
Well, I mean, definitely well, I mean, they survived the war, right? All of them survived the war.
Who didn't die beforehand, yeah.
Yeah. After Hodgson died in 1871 after living through Union General William T. Sherman's occupation of Savannah and the indignities of Reconstruction. I mean, can you tell who wrote this?
What? An authored work being super biased? What?
So
interesting. So yeah, what happened? What specifically the invasion? We lost some people. We lost a good. That's I think our one of our biggest reputation chunk losses aside from the Doom.
Reputation. Is this a case where you lose people, right? But here's the thing, like Magdalena's not going to fight in this war. Is she?
No, I don't think so.
Is Marcus?
I don't think so. I think they're both kind of laying low after the Nero incident. Because that wasn't. Well, I guess that was quite a bit of time ago. That was 40 years ago.
It's 40 years, right? Like, we assume that Marcus at least has. Maybe Marcus has other children now? Maybe Magdalena has other children.
I imagine Magdalena probably has other children now at least. Marcus might be a bit shooketh after that went so terribly wrong, and he lost the lady that he was into. So,
yeah,
you know.
So, but I mean, he might have more.
Because they're full vampires. They're super fucking broody.
Yeah, God,
you know.
It's
only been 40 years.
We're in Savannah in the 1800s, y'all. We are full on brooding.
Mm-hmm.
We're not quite New Orleans, but you know we have.
I think
beaches.
I think because he's all brooding, and Magdalene, and Marina is dead at the moment.
Marina's dead. The girls are off by themselves. It doesn't really matter.
Yep. I think a couple of Magdalena's children. I think she's had a couple children, and they get sent to war.
Okay, so then here's the question:
you can't really avoid it.
Yeah, but here's my point: you lose power and reputation in this, right?
Yeah,
power comes from the Yankees coming fine, but
yeah,
is this a case of does one of Magdalena's children become publicly against the Confederacy?
Oh, yeah. I think that might be that could be interesting. Like one of the sons goes off, and the other one is like, "No, I'm against war."
Because then you get that you come back, right? Like when Sherman comes, right? And you get that you almost immediately recover that.
We do,
people,
yeah.
You recover
with
that
the infrastructure,
loss of people, but you also get the magic boost, right? So like,
yeah, we gotta set up for that infrastructure boom.
So like, does one of the sons go off, even whether they believed in the Confederate cause or not? You know, one of the sons goes off, and the other is like publicly anti the Confederacy. So that's why you lose reputation and influence during the war, but afterwards.
But afterwards, we're doing pretty good. Is coming up glory.
Windfall.
Yeah, that's after the hurricane. That was some good investments. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think that makes sense. Yankees abound. I think this is when Magdalena like firmly establishes herself as, no, I am head of this family because y'all can't get your shit together.
Yeah.
And you're dead. technically right now. So, hello, I'm the head of the family. As the firstborn, I should be, but Marcus had other ideas probably for a little while. That's probably why he tried to make the damper as well, as because he was like, oh, I'm gonna establish myself. And Magdalena's like, no, me. Okay, yeah.
Okay. I like it. I'm
And
liking it.
mm-hmm.
And because she's turning children, I guess we don't have, are we keeping to the generational name convention that we've got going on?
Oh yeah. And instead of 2 sons, I think she'll have a son and a daughter. And the son uh is Auntie. You know what? I think Magdalena's been in some wars. I think she knows. I think she knows how this war is going to end up. I think she sees like the infrastructure in play. She sees the big game. She's fought in a few of them and she goes, the Union's going to win. We have to side with the Union, even though it's going to make us look real bad for a little while. It's just short term.
Because
We'll
I mean,
be fine.
Like to be fair,
I think maybe part of the family questions her decision. She's like, nope, we have to be anti-Confederacy. This is how it's going to play out. And then she's right. Which is why it's so up after that, is because she placed her investments and she hedged her bets properly. Yeah, I think it's her putting her foot down, going, no. We'll lose some benefits now. We'll have to lay a little low, but give it 10 years.
or not even, right? Like I think this is when she really establishes herself as like,
Yeah.
you want to play in the
Well, I mean, a lot of those wars were like 80 years war, the 30 years war. So she probably does say like, give it 10 years.
It's like, give it 10 years. And then she's like, oh wait, you guys kill people so much quicker now.
Well, technology at its finest work. All right, make a note of that.
Causes the family to support the Union, right?
Mm-hmm.
Against
So she's
public opinion.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have to find the best face claim for Magdalena. Unless you choose to end up playing her.
Yep. We'll see.
Okay, so Magdalena has turned a couple of new vampires.
Oh, and that loss of people.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of her children dies due to like some anti-union sentiment. Like she's like, maybe one of her sons goes off to fight in the war and then he dies, but like fighting for the Union.
How does he die? Right? He's full vampire. I want to know how he dies. Like, is it somebody who knows that he's a vampire? Does he slip on one of the battlefields and just gets a little too hungry? And
I think it has to be a slip on the battlefield, or he really likes his troop mates. Like it's like a small like patrol unit or contingency unit, and they run into like a big group, and he's like, "Fuck, we are not gonna make it." That is like, there's like 5 of us and 100 or something of them, and maybe he has like a blaze of glory kind of thing. Like he goes out and be like, no, we're gonna take as many of you out with us. And that unit fought with a passion or something, way more than they should have been. And the people who were specifically in that unit have questions. But it just becomes one of those like war story fanciful things, kind of like, oh yes, the Spartans held off the,
and then they all died.
Yes, I think it has to be one of those two. It's either the blaze of glory kind of thing, or he slips on the battlefield and gets ganked. I have it. No, I have it. This is even better than both of them.
Always here for it.
Oh,
give it to me.
It's so juicy. Okay, so he goes off to fight for the Union. You know who's fighting in the Confederacy? Nita's like grandnephew.
Mm-hmm.
And
Is this a case of
it's personal.
it's family blood feud? Take him out.
It's they take him out and now we're even.
And Anita's family are magical, so they know that he's a vampire and
Mm-hmm.
how to kill him.
Yep. They take him out and then they consider it even.
There we go.
Blood for blood.
One of whom is killed by a great grandnephew.
Yeah.
Of Anita. Blood for blood.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. I'm liking this.
Yeah, now they're even.
Yeah.
And it's also like
but does Magdalena think that they're even?
That's a good question.
I'm thinking, given what happens,
I think it depends. Like, would that be an acceptable loss? Because killing Nero set Marcus back, which put her ahead. Yeah, it upset her brother, but yeah, I think she's got to weigh it. I think she's really got to weigh it a lot.
I guess it would depend on how much she cared for this particular child, or how much they were important for
her plans. Yeah, and or how much she views the other family as a threat while they were in blood debt. So yeah, I think she doesn't. I don't know that answer yet, but by Nita's family, they're like, we're even now.
Cool.
Whether Magdalena agrees or will take retribution in another century or so, we'll see.
Yep. All right. So then this leads into the
that was way spicier.
Oh, we got way spicy. Sherman's March to the Sea.
Yep.
So that's where you get this land boost, right? Like people and magic, right? Do Marcus and Magdalena turn a bunch of these Union soldiers? To expand the family?
That's a good question.
Because there hasn't been a Dhampir born since Nero.
No, there hasn't been. But they did figure out what went wrong. We get, let's see. There's population booms in the next two in the infrastructure and the windfall. Ooh, dang, population. Then there's the World War I. We lose a bunch of them.
Harlan is asking if Marcus and Magdalena are at odds.
I don't think so.
I think at most it might be like what it seems like is a level of sibling rivalry.
I think that's more of what it is.
But it's a controlled level. It's not like I'm going to march against you. It's like
yeah. No, I don't think they'd turn against each other. I don't think they'd betray each other. But I think what it has to do with I think it's mostly Magdalena more than Marcus. I think Marcus is more easygoing because he's the middle child.
Oh god, yes. He is apparently
he's so the middle child, I think. And I think our Dhampir gal, Marina, I think she's also pretty chill. I mean, I think both her siblings treat her very well. I think Magdalena has a little bit of a complex because she was born in the 1500s and is the eldest child of the family, but a woman. And women don't have a lot of rights even still yet. So I think it's mostly her being a fiercely independent, strong woman who is like, I should be head of the family because I'm the oldest. But Marcus is the eldest son, oh, and Marcus is like, if you want to be in charge, like that's fine. Like I gave it a go and it did not go well. So, it's fine. I think that's more of what it is. I think it's Magdalena has a little bit of a complex
Yeah, it
based
might
on
even work out.
once like the suffragette movement goes through. I think she'll calm down a little.
If she's still alive.
If she's still alive, I think she'll be like, "Oh, I can vote now." Things are getting better.
Not great, but better.
Better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, for a vampire, she's still fairly young, so I think she's got a little bit more of that fire. But Marcus is still just a middle child, so I think again it's more of a sibling rivalry / Magdalena has eldest child, but I'm a woman issues.
Frequently has a problem.
So yeah, but I don't think they'd ever betray each other.
I don't think that.
I think blood runs thicker than water is a very apt saying here in this family.
Yeah, even though it's not accurate.
No, it's not accurate, but
I mean that everyone leaves off the whole rest of that quote.
They do. But yeah, I think they're very strongly a family unit.
Yes, they present well. Periodically dying and having,
Yeah. Like I think that's also why there's 3 of them. They're like, we gotta cycle through who's more public facing.
Yeah.
And right now it seems to be Magdalena's turn.
All right. And then infrastructure. The infrastructure really is a fallout of Magdalena's investments, right? Like
I think so. I think yeah.
And this is where we're getting to that boost in people. Like, is she investing in people? Is she investing in turning a couple of these unions?
I think so. I think so. I think that would make sense.
And if we go with that, is that then that boost to magic tied to like she picks the right people to turn?
Oh, totally. 100%.
All right.
100%. Yeah, because this is our last population 2 increases for the whole thing.
Marching. She chooses.
She's like, we gotta increase our magical standing.
Picks magically gifted.
Probably also because of the death of her son by that other family. She wants to bolster the magic a bit in her family. Yeah.
Yeah, she might also have other plans that she's working on. I could see Magdalena playing the long game. So Magdalena's a big suffragette? Yes, she is, Krellin.
Oh, 100%.
All right. Then comes the windfall with the
hurricane. Yeah, that still kind of tickles me. The windfall hurricane. 7th deadliest hurricane in American history. Well, we all survived because we're vampires and Dampier.
You gain power, you gain influence, you gain a massive boost in wealth.
Oh, yeah,
people,
okay.
Land, reputation gets a big chunk. Magic not so much, but everything else gets
a little boost of magic.
So
everything else got a pretty big chunk. Wealth is the biggest. Wealth and influence.
So
I think
I'm going to tell you right now one thing. After the hurricane, the weresharks started buying up a shit ton of property along the docks and became the major trade party warehouse investors. Just so you know that they're there.
Okay. Vampire weresharks. That'd be horrific.
Yeah, but they're tiger
so
sharks,
many teeth.
So they're not really a threat to humans as long as you leave them alone.
Unless they were vampire tiger sharks, and then look out.
Look, I don't think those two magics can combine.
Those would be horrific teeth marks, is all I'm saying. Like the worst bite marks. And be like, oh god.
Did a family enemy get wiped out? Ooh.
Oh.
Is this where she makes her move against Anita's family?
In the windfall? Maybe.
Because they're magical, but they're still human, right? They're not.
Mm-hmm.
It's been
Yeah,
30
no.
years.
If I had to look at what I assumed they were, they'd probably be like shaman,
Mhm.
magical type thing. Um,
So it's been 30 years, right? No,
mm-hmm.
and it's been almost 100 years since
Nita, yeah.
Anita was around and alive. So, like, literally, it's 1893. Nero was born in 1895 and 1795.
Yep.
Does Magdalena take advantage of that hurricane? Because she's not going to care about, like, the storm itself.
So how she gets the wealth and the land is she takes advantage of that hurricane because they can move around in the hurricane. They're not affected by all those winds and stuff. And they wipe out that family and they take all their assets and use part of that to also, because again, there's a big increase in land and wealth there. So
Yeah.
they take those, they consolidate those assets into the family. Bineta's family.
Fair.
And so they get that land, they get that money. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And probably help rebuild the town a bit for that sweet, sweet reputation. Because they have money. That's something they're not lacking. And they get a lot of influence because they were very like, this is what we need to do. If people come over here, we have extra food and water because they don't eat food and water.
Because they don't need it, so they keep it around. Like,
Yeah,
Marina needs to eat something.
Marina needs to eat something, and we don't want her to starve should anything like a
Yeah.
siege happen. When has the last siege happened? We don't want to talk about it, but we always have a siege supply. We updated it to modern terms for the hurricane stash that everyone has. So you buy all your canned goods and things.
Look, I kind of want Magdalena to survive into the 50s so I can see what she does with a nuclear fallout shelter.
Oh my gosh.
It's like, of course the Russians are coming. The Russians are always
Obviously.
coming.
They're always. If it's not the Ottomans, it's the Russians. I tell you.
Just like, want to see that.
You know why they call it the Cold War? Because war is always cold. Winter is coming because the Russians are coming.
Welcome to our plantation, Glencoe.
Yeah, the Hurricane X is one hell of a cover. Yeah. That's it, Pope. Yeah, I love it. Love it. Here for it.
Starts providing or gains reputation by aiding in recovery efforts. Cool.
She's had forever to plot this too, so she could have had all the paperwork, so it could just seamlessly transition.
Yeah, I'm sure that forgery is a really great skill at this point with vampires because they're still hiding, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
we'll need to figure out exactly how many children Magdalena has at some.
Yep.
World War One.
She has a lot less after that.
She loses a. Is this a case of where they just? Is this just a basic case of World War One happens and
everyone gets drafted? Yeah.
And dies on the battlefield? Or, I mean, because like, wait, do the Americans fight? I mean, they're in Europe, but I don't think the Americans are actually fighting the Ottomans.
See.
World War One American battles. Because they go into the Mediterranean, right? Like they go into battles involving World War One. No, they're all in France.
Did the United
Or
States ever fight the Ottoman Empire in a war? No.
no. So we know they're not going to have the problem with the Ottomans. They're not fighting the Ottomans, but they're in the Mediterranean.
They did during the Barbary Wars.
Yeah, which is later.
Later,
which is
yeah.
well,
earlier.
Sorry, not later. I misspoke.
Oh, maybe they did. Maybe. Hold on. Let me see. They severed relations
versus
with
Ottoman Empire.
They're on opposite sides. I don't think their military units actually engaged.
The United States never declared war on the Ottoman Empire. They only declared war on Germany.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So
they just severed the diplomatic relations.
Yeah, and because because of that. Okay, so they're just in France, right? They're involved in France, and they're involved in what's going on in France. Oh, is this a case of it's not fuck the Ottomans, it's fuck the Austrians?
Ooh, has to be, because those dang Habsburgs. Yeah.
No, okay, so this is
hold on. I'll get rid of dang Ottomans. Austrians.
So, because that's the other time that we have the major issues, right?
Like, if it's not the Ottomans, it's the Austrians. Like, let me tell you what.
And
especially based on how World War I started.
Yeah, particularly. And so is this also a case of perhaps, you know, that level of superstition, right? That level of superstition in the Austrians remains, and so while these couple sons that go off to fight in the war should be fine.
Oh, they catch wind of, like, they'd have experience. Magdalena would have like given like, here's your crash course to war. So I bet they became like lieutenants and generals, and they got like officer ranks, and then the Austrians caught wind of the last name.
And we're like, we know who you are.
They were like,
what you are.
Those vampires? And yeah.
Okay, and so they were specifically targeted.
Look, again, we got the fuck out because those dang peasants and moved to the United States for a reason.
Who went to
also like chemical warfare became a thing that was not previously used. So I bet the vampires didn't know how to combat that.
But at the same time,
they would have taken some damage, like paralytics and stuff.
Not necessarily. Remember,
that's true. That's true. But they would lose all their backup.
Yeah, they would lose.
So it'd just be them versus army and gas masks.
And
yeah,
also Gatling machine guns.
Machine guns. Yeah, that kind of puts a hamper on things a little bit.
So went to fight for World War I. Were targeted.
I think so.
By the Austrians.
I bet because the Austrian nobility would have been the officers on the other side, and they would have been like, wait, that family name? Why are they fighting with the Americans? I thought they were gone. I thought we wiped them out with that Luca guy.
Because the noble Austrian officers recognized the family name and knew they were vampires.
Yep.
And probably not all of them, but it's definitely one of those, like, it's easy to justify targeting the particular, Krellin's like, okay, I liked the Lafayette story, but honestly, I'm loving these vampires way more. Look, Krellin, we still haven't finished the Lafayette family story. We'll get to them. We'll have to get to them. They're kind of sitting in a moment. Night raids with stakes, exactly. All right, so then I think this is definitely the point where Magdalena's like, fuck the Austrians.
Fuck the Austrians. We are never going back to Europe. They can all rot.
Pretty much. All right, so what is this victory that comes to the family in the form of influence?
Of the stock market crash?
Yeah,
influence, a lot of magic.
And magic.
And some HOA rating, but mostly magic. I think there's to be another Dampier.
Another Dampier who does well, right?
So we time things.
is it Marcus's child or one of is this Magdalena's grandchild?
I think it's Magdalena's grandchild.
Has Marcus now relegated himself to the cool, crazy uncle? It's like,
I
don't
think
want
so.
any kids.
I think he's like, I'm good. Or if he does have any, he'll just turn them full vampire. I think he's like, no more Dampier kids for me. That one was enough. Don't want any repeats of that. I think he's a little traumatized. I think Nero traumatized him a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, so Magdalena's Dampier grandchild.
Whose name will have to start with an O.
Yes, and we need to know what their father's name is because it's going to be an N. Victorian N names.
Yes.
Because
it would have been probably one of the
Union soldiers, probably.
Probably. Or around the hurricane time, probably Union soldiers.
Ooh, what about Everett? Oh, no, we need an N, not an E. What am I thinking?
I do like Everett, but yeah, no. Let's see, it's girl names. Give me boy names. I do like Cyril. That'd be a good name, but no. We need
we need an O.
Let's see, for the father's name, let's see, common Victorian names. Nicholas or Norman. Those are two common ones.
Neil. Neal.
Mm-hmm.
We can go with Nelson.
Oh, Nelson. That totally sounds like a Union soldier.
Named after Lord Admiral Nelson, yeah.
Nelson.
All right, so Nelson's child.
Oh. I think she's getting ready to step back again too, because she's almost out of her time. So she's like, time for a grandchild.
Yes, you're going to get married, aren't you, darling? I'm going to
Nelson.
I
don't think it's about time.
Call Drake, I see you. I see you in Annie Geek.
I think I know. What is it? Victory? I think
yeah.
I think it's Dampier twins.
Ooh. Twins. Is it a boy and a girl, or is it is it one of each, or
boy and a girl?
Okay, Dampier twins. Nelson's child.
I think Nelson Oliver and let's see. Let's see, what was common?
This would have been easy.
This would have been in the 20s. So let's see.
Well, like, are
1920s?
So they have. Yeah, so that's when they're born. Like, are they born at the time of the stock market?
I think so.
There you go. So they're born in 28. Octavia would be a good one, right? Like perpetuating that Roman.
I already have a character named Octavia.
That's true. You have a Dampier named Octavia.
Technically, I have a Dampier named Magdalena, and I'm looking at her right there. But I was inspired. She's also a Transylvanian vampire, so I was like, let's just take the name. Dear old Magda.
20s girls' names. America.
Opal. Let's see, Opal was popular. Let's see. See, Opal, Olive, Olga. No. Say the top 200 girls' names from the 1920s: Olive and Opal. if we have Oliver, could have Oliver and Olivia, or Oliver and Opal.
I don't like going all. I mean, Oliver and Olivia seems.
It's such a twinsy thing to do, but
Yeah, but
I think they're a little I think
I think
Oliver
they're.
and Opal.
I think they're a little bit. Um, Olga.
You know, I kind of dig it, but I feel like it's a little.
Yeah, I think Opal makes sense.
It's very 1920s.
Opal. You could have Oliver or um
I like Oliver.
Oliver and Opal. And who is Nelson married to?
That's a good question. Who didn't struggle during the stock market crash?
The a bunch of some interesting people. Savannah, important Savannah, Georgia families. All right. I don't want kings to do. I want 1920s powerful Savannah, Georgia families. Why is it giving me like no?
Franklin Roosevelt. What? Ah, not the Weevils. Oh, sorry. I was reading about. Well, the
Famous?
cotton was doing
I
so
mean,
poorly.
like the Rockefellers are doing okay, but they're not great.
Because I think that's part of the victory is that they again got on the good sides of a good family, a magical perhaps bit of a family. They could be fictional. It's not particularly helpful. You
Kimberly
document you.
Jones de Renee. Collector.
Maybe let's see the Lowe family. Gordon.
Elfrida de Renee Barrow. They're too old. 40. And we can't, no. No, Mary Telfair is dead by this point. All of the Telfairs are dead by 1871.
All super dead.
Um,
Super dead.
yeah, I was looking at the De Renees, but is there another De Renee? Because it can't be Elfrida because she's too old.
Can always add in a fictional sibling.
Yeah, we can. But I'm trying to figure out when we're adding that fictional sibling. So we need her to be what?
Yeah.
We need her to be no older than 30 by 1928. So she has to be born in 1900.
Yeah.
Which means we're looking at okay, so the oldest the father we'll need the children of Wimberley Jones de Renee because he Yep. YouTube. There we go. Um. Okay. So we need Wimberly Jones de Renee. He was born in 18. He had. Okay. So he had a daughter, Audrey. Who is Audrey? Audrey de. Um. Okay. Know anything more about? Do we know anything more about Audrey de Renee? Because she might work, right? Like,
Sure.
she's younger. We can go with Audrey de Renee.
Sure. How do you spell that last name?
DE space RE and then E.
Ah, beautiful.
Because Elfrida's too old. Then there's a boy who's born 1891, so having her be born like a couple years later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That'd work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, George Jones ownership of Warm Slow. Yeah. All right, so we've got the de Renees. So she Audrey with children with wife at this point probably.
Yeah. No, I think they'd be married.
It establishes
To
a
get the boon
family.
from the household, the stability, that kind of thing. Like, oh, because we're a good house at this point. After that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we suffered some defeat in World War, but the windfall right before that, we have some good rep from that 1893 windfall.
And it's World War One. Everybody was defeated.
Yeah, everyone lost.
All right.
So
So
yes,
1941. 1941 to
glory.
45. So World War Two.
Mm-hmm.
Glory. So it's been 17 years. The
Get
twins are
lots of
not old enough to
HOA.
be involved in a glory.
No, not quite.
We get
See,
magic, reputation, little bit of land,
some
influence, and a
good
big amount of
influence.
power.
Lot of HOA, a lot of magic, a lot of reputation. The twins aren't quite old enough, but their father would have fought in World War One and survived.
Mm-hmm.
And so would probably have officer status and probably did really well in World War Two by going to areas where the Austrians were not, or kicking Austrian butt, one of the two.
I mean, is he fighting in Europe or is he fighting in the
Oh yeah.
Pacific? That's the question. Like and Army or Navy?
Ooh, that is a good question. I think he was Navy because everyone who fought in the army in World War One probably got ganked by the Austrians, but they couldn't get the Navy.
This is very
That's
true.
why he made it. Oh no, is he Admiral Nelson?
No, because Admiral Nelson would have been way too old and very dead by
Well,
this
no,
point.
like a
A
new
new
Admiral
admiral
Nelson.
is. I don't think he's an admiral, although I think people joke about calling him that, right? Like
I think that would be a good joke. Yeah.
that
So
people.
I know. I think he's Navy, and so he's probably in the South Pacific.
Ooh, and Pope brings up a good question. Is he what? Which branch of the Navy is he?
Ooh.
Is he submariner? Is
Mm.
he
I think
aircraft carriers? Is
I
he?
think he has to be not submarine. It's a little hard to
Yeah, it's a little too close
be a
quarters.
vampire on a
Submarine.
such close quarters. Yeah, I think he would be aircraft carrier.
Okay, is he a flyboy or just straight Navy?
Ooh, Commodore Nelson. Um, um, I think he thinks planes are still like super like because again this guy would have like survived the Civil War. He's like planes, sketchy as fuck. I still don't trust him. I imagine he's like I'd rather be on a boat.
Okay, so he is a naval officer.
I feel like a lot of vampires at the time would be like, what are these idiot humans doing, launching themselves into the sky? Like, no, no. Yeah, because he'd definitely be like Commodore, like Ardeline, but people would probably jokingly call him Admiral Nelson. Like, who knows his first name? Yeah.
Yeah, but his name isn't his rank isn't Commodore. There is no Commodore.
Whatever rank.
It would be Captain.
Commander.
Captain Commander.
Captain Ardeline. Who's safer on a plane than someone can turn to mist? Yeah, but then that looks kind of sus when they don't have like parachutes and ejection seats and stuff yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, in a large.
If your ship blows up, you turn to mist and yeah, no.
Large body of open water might not be great.
Yeah, no, he stays on the boat. Yeah, no, he's maybe he was served on the USS Alabama. That ship was intact.
Yeah, but
and they were in the South Pacific. Had a few skirmishes and stuff.
Yeah, I was like,
it's like 45 minutes that way.
Yeah, the battleship.
I go there a couple times a year, probably. That's a pretty good boat.
It's like I was trying to remember if the Alabama sinks. It's like no, it doesn't. It's
it's about an hour that way. It's really nice. They're doing some restoration work on it.
Right,
yeah, so it was decommissioned in 47. Yeah. So yeah, but it did see some skirmishes in the South Pacific. The Bama, yeah.
It was also deployed to the British Home Fleet before the Americans entered the war to protect convoys, and then sent to the Philippines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So does most of his fighting in the aboard the USS Alabama. Cool. All right. So he's not on an aircraft carrier. He's on a battleship. Which are not the
battleship.
Same thing. Battleship is fine.
No, yeah, but I think it's fitting.
Yep. Okay. So then that leads to what he's doing during the war, and I think that gives you your big boost to reputation and power.
Mm-hmm.
And is this when
how do we get the magic?
But is this when he starts coming to the fore as the head of the family publicly? Like Magdalene is still in charge, but
because she's got to step back because she's too old. So yeah, I think this is when he would start to step forward as the head of the family. He comes back from the war and he's like, yeah, blah blah blah. Comes back, has a lovely funeral for his mother, whatever, publicly.
Well, maybe it doesn't even have to anymore because 1945 or 1941 is the event point when supernaturals become known. Now, would Magdalena feel comfortable being publicly known? No. She knows what happened.
After that peasant revolt that killed her father? Hell no.
But this is like
she's still pulling all the strings. But he's doing well, and he's I think he's risen above the rest of his siblings to be the pseudo head of the family.
The public head, at least.
Yes, the public head. And the twins are, of course, absolutely spoiled.
Yes.
They're the first grandchildren of the family. Well, of Magdalena's at least,
Yes. Exactly.
The first great grandchildren of the family line.
All right, so we've got the twins. We've got Nelson. We've got Marcus.
Oh, and the twins in 1945, they'd be like college age.
17, 18, yeah. 17.
Beautiful. That's perfect.
There you go. There you go. We have this family. We know who they are. Now we
know who they are.
You get to figure out which one you're going to be personally personifying as we come into it.
Yep.
But this is we have one of our vampire families. Don't know who anybody else is gonna play, but we have
vampire vampires.
Yeah. Mixed family is complicated. It's fine.
It's fine, magic boons.
So here's the question. Oh, I have a very important question. Very, very important question. So after the twins' birth, does Magdalena turn Audrey?
Ooh, I think that depends on how much Nelson likes Audrey. Or if he married her purely because mother told him to. I'm gonna roll for it.
Well, let's ask the question. How much does Nelson like his wife?
That's what I'm gonna roll for, is how much he likes her.
Because we've already established that this family does not give a fuck. Actual marriage being a constraint to romantic relationships.
Nope. Yeah, no, they don't. Luca kind of set a precedent with that. I'm gonna roll a percentile die.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see how
All
much he likes his
rules?
wife. I think we're gonna go with a high percentage means he like the more he likes his wife.
Okay, so just sliding scale of 1 to 100.
I think it's a sliding scale of how much he likes his wife. And he's gotta like her like at least 60% for
I would say at least
her to be
75, right? Because she's gonna stick around for
that is
eternity.
true for like a long time. Sure, yeah. At least 75%.
No, Krillin's asking, wait, does it matter how much Nelson likes her? Doesn't it matter how much Magdalena likes her? And I'm like, I think it requires first that Nelson ask.
I think so. Otherwise, she was a useful thing. So I rolled a 42 for Nelson. I think he thinks she's all right, but doesn't like want to be around with her forever.
Cool. But
let's see how I will roll to see how Magdalena feels about her. Oh, Magdalena likes her a decent bit.
Magdalena picked her.
Magdalena did pick her, but I don't think she would shackle her son down with someone he didn't want to be with for forever, even if she liked her a whole lot. Because
I think that's what it is.
Because they take family seriously, and I think that's why. I think if they were a little bit more backstabby or trying to like usurp each other, I think she would turn her. But since Nelson's like, she's like, okay, I mean, I like her. Are you sure? I feel like that's a question that gets asked.
I think that gets asked frequently, right? Like,
yeah.
Like, some people, there was the when are you going to give me grandchildren question, and then it's like, don't you want me to turn your wife? No, mom.
Don't you want me to turn? Yeah, and he's like, I think we're okay. And she's like, are you sure though? Think of the children.
Like, yeah, that's what I think. I think Volpez is asking, was Magdalena grooming her to be turned, and I don't think she is. Like, I don't think
so.
I think at this point, Audrey still perhaps vampire powers are a thing, but I think that Audrey doesn't thoroughly know.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting older.
Older Nelson
will be friends. Thank you, Krellin, for that wonderful quote.
Like, I think they get along enough that he's like,
he doesn't
want. Yeah, we'll stick it out, but I'm like not into her for like forever. Like, I'm into her for like a human lifespan. That's about it.
Yeah, it's like, I don't want you to actively her, but
yeah, like she can live it out. It'll be fine. I don't want to be like married to her forever though.
Because I think it would be really interesting. Public existing.
Mm-hmm. And the family is all like, all of a sudden. And she's like, why is everyone so stressed? I mean, I know that it's supernatural. And she's like trying to comfort them, and they're like, you don't understand why we're stressed.
Mm-hmm. All right. So this is where we get to end. This is where we end.
Yeah. And I'll have to decide who I want to be playing.
Yeah. Plus, there's also any of the other children of Magdalena that we haven't discussed.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, granted, a fair bit of them died during World War II. Mm-hmm. Basically, the population boom that we got during the windfall just negated.
Hmm. All right. So, thank you for being here. Tell our wonderful people where we can find you.
Yes. Yes, thank you. This was a lot of fun. I am excited about my house, the Audelines. They're going to be a great family. hopefully. And by great, I mean kind of terrible, but in the best way. You can find me online at Laugh Love Lindy. Playing tabletop RPGs. You will find me next on Sunday for more of Witcher Roads Home. Whoa, things are getting intense. I need to watch the VOD from what I missed from last week.
Mm-hmm.
I got
Mm-hmm.
a teaser, but I need to find out everything that happened. And then you can find me on my channel on Monday for the new batch, D&D campaign, where again we're working our way into an evil temple. It's gonna be fine. We're taking a rest first. We decided after some speculation. That's probably wise. And then on Tuesday, our Stargate Flames of Hope campaign, which got postponed from this past week, will be this Tuesday, and I'm very excited about it. And yeah, that's me for this next week.
Okay, wonderful. Always. And go follow Lindy. And again, we will be back. Hi, everybody. I'm at Deirdre Donlin on Twitter, Praxgorth as me for you. See me around here on Twitch, your friendly neighborhood Prax. I get to run a bunch of games. So many things that will affect Brenna when B isn't around to defend herself. I mean, yeah, actually. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I expected as much.
I tried, but you kind of went away, and there was conversations that were had that you weren't present for, so
nope, it happens. It's okay.
it'll be
Don and
great.
Edelyn were worth it.
Don and Edelyn are fine and worth it. So I will be back tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern with Song of Agapia's Fortune, our high-level D&D campaign as the players continue their ascent up the mountain to find and deal with a lich problem. And the plant life wants to give them hugs. Then Sunday, like Lindy said, for Witcher Roads Home, things are getting juicy, things are getting tense, things are getting. Well, the end is in sight. It's that final 4 episodes of the series. Lots of things. And then Monday, over on Wandering Dam's channel for Montreal by Night, Vampire Masquerade, Montreal by Night. Look, I may have done something. Flori may have said some things. They were very important to say things. Also, she's gonna send an itemized receipt to the sheriff and be like, asshole, if you should be paying me the amount of times I've been cleaning up your city for you with all of this bullshit. I get paid. Still not Flori's fault. Exactly. Nothing that's happened has been Flori's fault. I love it. But that'll be over on Wandering DM. And other than that, check my Twitter because that's post where I'm going to be and the fun, wonderful, fabulous folks like Lindy that I get to play with. And you might keep an eye out because there might be some more of these game dev streams coming in the next week, and a few more perhaps special guest creators to help me create some NPC houses. That's going to be a thing. So let me find someone to send some love out into the universe and share some raid. We should go raid Fawn.
Yeah.
We'll go raid Fawn. They are playing Terra Nil, which is one of my favorite games, and I've been following it since the demo, and now I need to get it now that it's actually out. So we will go raid into Fawn and share some love, share some joy, and see you next time, everybody.